starting us off with a few bongs there. Hope your lungs are feeling better after that.
Yeah.
And on that, did you see that story that they're going to change the name of Big Ben to Queen Elizabeth Tower?
Yes, the Elizabeth Tower. Yeah.
The Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah. What do you all make of that?
Yeah. It should be called Big Ben.
Well, Big Ben's the bell.
Well, one of the things I heard them saying was that the bell inside the tower is actually Big Ben, so they're just renaming the tower, not the actual bell.
That's right. It's actually called Westminster Spire.
Right. Okay.
So this means what? Big Ben is going to be ringing the Queen's bell or something every now and again.
Yeah. Or Phillips.
You can ring my bell.
Or Elizabeth is going to be ringing Big Ben.
Oh, there you go.
And you might hear in the background here that we have a little tennis match going on.
Tennis match going on.
Yeah. It's
That's the sports department.
yeah.
Woo! I'm winning.
Right, you two, bed.
Yeah, that's going to get distracting.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should go and turn the sound down on that little game.
Done it.
So if anybody wants to ring in and join us on the news bong here, the number is, Steve? Here?
No, it is.
347
996 5515. That's 347 996 5515. For the lounge.
And everybody can also go to the news bong page on the Type 1 Ashram Lounge and use the Skype button as well to just Skype in and keep it free.
Mm-hmm.
So, any news stories that you'd like to talk about, Reset, Steve?
Well, the big news story this week, which we were discussing a little bit last night, is the financial pending meltdown. And apparently all our boys have been none too benevolent. They've been sorting out their own interest rates. They've been bad boys.
Yeah, they've been living up to the name of banksters.
Yeah. It's funny, it is odd how it's sort of tying in the story we've been hearing for the past 8 years about financial collapses around about the time of the Olympics and all that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sorry, go on.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I was just kind of wondering if any of that, the glitch in the system actually affected any of you guys.
No, not at all, but no.
Anyone you know?
No, not at all. We're kind of thinking, did it happen for real?
Well, or did they just use it as a covert bank holiday? Because it was on a Thursday that it happened, and it's still not really sorted itself out yet, has it?
Not entirely, no, because, well, from what I can gather, that people who know how to complain have already started the procedure of complaining, and those who just go, oh well, it was just a glitch in the system, without realising that no, it was actually them stealing your money for 4 days, and you've got every right to take them to the cleaners.
Yep.
If you only know how to do it.
Yep, and if you want to go on to John Witterick's site, getoutofdebtfree.org.
Or go to, is it the rabbit hole?
Yeah.
The white rabbit hole, is it? The Spaniard site?
Yeah. Or if you just put in the Spaniard
into your search engine, you come up with some guy who's from this background, and he's willing to tell you the procedures of how to go about taking them to cleaners.
Yeah, and he
can be done, and he does it.
And he does it. And he also gets very tidy results actually. Yeah. Didn't he get about was it maybe 60 grand that he's?
Yeah, well he's had a few that are quite huge apparently.
We have a caller. Caller 480, Eric, your code, you're live on Type 1 Radio Lounge News Bong. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, having problems with my Skype again. Oops, there, it's working right now.
Yep, so look after your Skype, mate. So any takes on the financial meltdown, Jay? Is it happening in the States?
Hello? Oh, he said he's having issues with his Skype.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. I guess there was one thing I was going to mention. Over here, the Obamacare thing recently passed, along with Eric Holder, the Attorney General, being held in contempt.
Oh, yeah.
Contempt because of, I guess, lying because of the Fast and Furious thing with the gun running. I don't know. It's weird the way that they passed this Obamacare thing. I mean, they were arguing, that they should just mandate it for everyone because, it would be a good thing to do, I think. I don't know. But they ended up passing it under, it's like they said that in the same way that taxes, it's constitutionally legal to charge taxes to everyone in the country. It's kind of in the same way that's how I guess they passed the Obamacare thing, was saying in the same way that everyone has to pay taxes, everyone should probably be mandated to pay into this thing.
Well, that's what happens over here. Yeah. I mean, from your point of view, do you think that free healthcare should be afforded to all individuals?
It would make sense. That would be ideal, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is that what Obamacare is, or is it like our national insurance for the...
Well, I think it's more. It's tied to the insurance companies, though, isn't it? So I mean.
Yeah, it's not a tax. It's going to the pharmaceutical and the insurance companies.
Right, but that's how they were passing it off, was saying, "Oh, this is pretty much the same thing as a tax, so don't worry about it."
It's robbing the people to pay for the corporations.
Well, I mean, in the tax situation. I think Swami was saying yesterday that the 100 years of the Federal Reserve Act finishes next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, the income tax that you are legally obliged to pay, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's lawful. Or even though there is nothing to say that. There's nothing in that piece of legislation that actually says that people need to pay income tax.
No, well, if it's in the town, it's not over here. It's
only federal employees.
Well, if you're part, exactly. If you're part of the corporation, you have to pay it. So therefore, if you're a government employee, you have to pay it. Like they make it like you have to pay it, like your TV license here, for instance.
Yeah. So me as a government employee that I work for the National Health Service.
There you go.
They do just take it out of my wages, and I remember way back when Bush and Blair went into Iraq, I rang up the Land Revenue to see how I could stop paying my income tax because I didn't really fancy paying for the killing of innocent people. And the guy basically said, "You've got no chance, mate."
Yeah. There are. A couple of mates of ours, like Nick Storm, tries that angle that he says, by the definition of the word terrorist, that the government is a terrorist organisation because it instigates...
Yeah, state-sponsored terrorism.
Killing of women and children. So therefore, and they laughed at him. We'll try that, mate, we'll put you in jail. But he's still trying, so good luck to him.
Well, there was... I got an email from Kent to say that Rusty's out.
Rusty's out, right? Well, he's feeling got.
But he was, whilst he was in there, he was talking to Matt Dobson, he's the guy that he got sent down for under the Terrorism Act, didn't he? For having stuff on his computer.
Having something on his computer he didn't even look at.
Yeah.
And he could prove it, he didn't look at it.
Yeah, but the fact that it was on there. That was like a landmark case, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's Darren's, mate.
Yeah.
That's that as a landmark case, yeah.
And also, one of the guys that I don't know exactly what he got arrested for, but one of the guys that was supposed to be talking at Glade, he got arrested a couple of days before Glade, so he didn't come in and do the talk. I think he might have been called Dave or something, Dave Murphy. But we'll maybe get an update when we see John.
When we go and see John and Darren, we'll definitely bring that one live from the secret garden office.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys see? I've just seen the story now on space.com that says leap second on Saturday will cause 61 second minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the
No,
atomic clocks
The atomic clocks are getting...
updated.
I thought they were doing away with that extra hour and all that, weren't they? They were just going to say, oh, let's not bother that.
Yeah, well, maybe if we went back to a proper calendar and did away with the Julian calendar.
One that's going to end at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The one built another one. Have you seen that? There's another monument.
Yeah.
Is it 24th?
Right. Okay.
November.
Oh yeah, but
Rapture.
yeah, David, I should be happy though.
Lieutenant McKenna.
Yeah. And so just some other news. We have coming on board with the Type 1 Radio World Shift Media, who we spoke to the head honcho over there, Gareth Glaze, Gareth Strangemore Jones.
Strangemore?
Yeah. What?
Carry on.
What? Yeah.
Did you say Gareth Strangemore Jones? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Carry on.
And he's going to be putting up some podcasts from, I think first of all from the Venus Love experience, which happened probably about a month ago down in Glastonbury, and also we are going to be having a very special guest in the next couple of weeks. Andrew Johnson and Judy Wood are coming back on the show.
Cool.
For some updates.
You know John Hutchison?
We have got Judy to... Yep.
You're fucking kidding me. Sorry, William.
Oh, we have Swami on the...
Namaste.
Namaste, Swami. Glad you could make it on time tonight.
Everyone with great love and great respect.
Excellent.
Happy News Bong Day.
Yep.
Any news from your end there, Swami?
Well, I'm just now looking at the Drudge Report, which is pretty much the most popular news website on the planet. 5 dead, millions without power in D.C. right now.
Oh yes, I heard this on the news, yeah.
Heat. 91 here at the ashram at the moment in east central Illinois.
I just got back from playing volleyball, and we had to keep watering the sand because it was so damn hot on our feet.
It's warm here, but it's not hot.
So, big problem.
So is that, did they have some sort of storm that created that, or is that just because of the heat's gone out?
Well, let's see.
You know, I got to say, the other day, Jay said that there was a pretty good solar flare that happened. And yesterday, I swear, for the first time since, before it got really hot around 2000, they started mentioning El Nino again. I was waiting for them to pull that one out. When it's going to get really hot, they're going to say El Nino again, huh?
If you wish, I will give you verbatim this report from a senior meteorologist. Headline, Indiana to Mid-Atlantic in peril. More heat, no power. A dangerous situation is unfolding from Indiana to the Mid-Atlantic region, where millions remain without power and temperatures are once again soaring. A violent thunderstorm complex known as a super Derico, never heard that term before, left a trail of power outages and destruction from Indiana to southern New Jersey, Virginia, and northern North Carolina Friday afternoon and night. 11 lives were lost, all due to falling trees. The inability to use air conditioners and fans could not come at a worse time, with sizzling heat once again spilling northward from the south into the Midwest and Northeast. According to local power and electric companies, here's a breakdown of the number of people without power in states most affected by the storms. Numbers are approximate and still growing. In Indiana, 112,000 people without power. Kentucky, 140,000. Ohio, 363. West Virginia, 500,000. Virginia, 2.5 million. Maryland, 1.3 million. And New Jersey, 168,000.
Wow. That's a lot of people. Yeah.
And you know whose fault this is?
Who's that then?
Okay, now everybody who drives an SUV, you gotta hold your hand up. No, I'm kidding. Like, we can do that. We got this big thing in the sky called a sun that provides all the light and heat that we use for everything.
Yep.
When it does this stuff, it affects other planets, which we are aware of. Humans ain't doing it. Stop it. That's silly. Stop saying that.
Yeah, but the climate change people, or now they call it sustainable development people, they don't want you to know that it's all this heating up and climate change is happening on the other planets in the solar system as well. So to deflect from the fact that the sun.
That's why they don't want people to know anything about a little resource for human learning called the trivium and the quadrivium, which teaches critical thinking, how to approach situations that seem confounding and misleading when they're based entirely upon lies.
Yeah.
See the lie, and all its power goes away.
I was in a record shop yesterday, and whilst I was browsing, I found a band that were called Trivium. I thought that was quite interesting. Well, they've got a good name though. He looks pretty rock.
They're heavy death metal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Don't click.
Yeah.
Get away from that.
Yeah. No drinks near the iPad. Bong.
Hey, you guys got to get a gong sound effect to use in this program.
We've got the bongs a big bang, but we haven't cut the music up yet, so...
No.
But you got to have at least, I mean, just a single bong as a drop. Like a
yeah, we can find one of those.
I can do another one.
That's going to find.
You want a punch for me?
Being an old-time radio guy with all the drop-ins and sound effects, you know, I just think that would be cool on this program.
That's really just, I wish you'd have said that sooner, because I'm running out of space with all the stuff I'm downloading. I just deleted like 5 gigabytes worth of sound effects because I didn't think we'd ever use them.
Have you still got the Pistachio Lounge?
Yeah, it's got the pistachio one.
No, unfortunately, I loaded them into the studio the first time, and I deleted them after that, thinking, well, hey, I uploaded them.
The show is still there in the ether, so we can...
Oh, I've got it on now. Yeah. I did.
It exists somewhere.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way we can extract those off the site somehow. I mean, I still have the whole...
I've got the show, I can do it.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess there's that too.
I bet you Nickel J's got it. He seems to have been
And
becoming
Jay, how's
a biological
the updating
collection.
of the
Have you not seen
the YouTube?
the YouTube's wicked, you haven't seen it?
I've seen Blue Green's little thing without any sound on, but Jay was uploading it to.
Excuse me, I've got to phone flag check.
Yeah, important call to the missus.
We had 2 solar flares today that were M class.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Hello. Have you rendered that the video audio thing going on there?
Yeah, I put it up on YouTube, and also I got it up on Sonic's. I put it on his Facebook page.
On my Facebook page, on my Assbook. So if anybody wants to go to if you just Facebook me at Sonic Aitchison, then you can find it there, or just go to the facebook.com Type 1 Lounge, and we shall stick it over there. Obviously, it will be embedded into the friendshipagenda.com as well.
And I also have I did one of Swami's show, and I put a new graphic into it with this picture. And here's I put the link in the friendship agenda. Right now, and there it goes. That's the Swami's, and I'll hold on for a second, and I'll grab the one for blue greens.
Excellent.
See, that
And
will
one
take the place of the smoke weed every day on Saturdays.
Nothing will take the place of the smoke weed every day. It's an addition to.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe we should have a bong smoke weed every day.
That seems only appropriate, actually.
Yeah.
Save the trees, use a bong.
And maybe if we can get a little bubbling sound of a different type of bong.
There you go. See, look at that. Now, this is how these things happen.
Yeah. Live on the air.
Oh yes, and it did. It did seem to be a tad overdriven there, BG. The bong sound effect.
Yeah, I pulled it down a little bit. Yeah, that was Blue Green that sent us the clip there. We should probably just note that.
So.
I just wanted to. It don't mean a whole lot to anybody. I don't know yet, but in my absence yesterday, Reset gave birth to an idea. I wanted to use a piece of music to follow the Flawless Science ad at the bottom of the hour, and now we're going to have a variety of the mantra presented in different ways, different types and such as that. So Sonic, if you were, like a real audio talented guy, you could probably do some really neat stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure I can. Definitely.
Just want to point your nose in that direction. If something wonderful happens, that would be nice.
Yeah. I'm just going to finish off a couple of releases that I need to get out soon, and then I'll be on that.
Understood. Just plant the seed. That's all.
Yeah.
You're the
And I
one
gotta
with
say,
Not me.
Swami had asked me to, look around for a few tracks that I could maybe play along with that Flawless Science ad, and this is then he kind of suggested looking for tracks that just contain the mantra, which was a great idea. And my immediate thought was, well, hey, has Sonic done one yet? That was literally the first thing I asked him, 'cause I wasn't sure.
Well, maybe what we should do on the friendship agenda is let's do that now. We'll just ask people just to post, just send me a little audio clip of them reciting the mantra, and then it can be all owned by us lot. How about that?
Hey, whatever happened to that thing that we all recorded when we all said the friendship agenda, and it was going to be put into a song or something? Did that ever happen?
Yeah,
I never heard that.
It's going to be released pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
It's the Friendship Agenda EP that I bought. It's like 30 minutes long.
Wicked. Available on
Pretty Neat Records very, very soon.
And
SoundCloud.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's it's part of that. So yeah, there's a few people, like Jamie and then there's people in the background. Freighter, I think
Lobo, Johnny Show.
Yeah, Lobo's all over that though. I think Crack sent us one. Did you send us one, Reset?
Yeah, I did.
I think yours is maybe on right at the start. Or maybe it's either you or, remember Rainier, who seems to have disappeared?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do one.
Yeah, you should definitely do one.
That's kind of why I was curious.
I've got a really good sample of you, Swami, going, "Don't play with the big snake."
Oh, really? See, that's what I was like. When I catch. Okay, here's kind of the thing here. Your Swami friend here is really a neophyte at playing on any sort of a world stage at all. You know what I mean? But this is what my guru wants me to do. And regardless, when I feel bad about what I'm doing or I think I've screwed something up, things generally go well. And it's like, wow, this is just the most amazing thing to watch unfold. Regardless how doubtful I can become from one moment to another, it just keeps growing. And effects are being seen in people's lives. And it's very simple. And it's always been this way.
Yeah.
So that's when I go, well, okay, even if I, perhaps went off on a bit of a rant, guess what? Somebody hears that rant and can identify with it.
Yeah.
Or audio talented people can slice that shit up and make a really neat dish out of it. That I could never do on my own. I was in radio for a long time, back in the days when we were playing 45s and albums.
There you go, mate. Good old days.
Yeah.
When you could smell what you were playing.
All about doing this stuff because my skill level is back with tape and razor blades, not digital.
That's how I trained. Yeah. Back in the day.
Well, if I can every now and again drop a line that somebody finds it worthy of doing something with, that's pretty groovy.
The resets that. So who just did the bong? Because Steve was.
Oh well, we got that from Blue Green, but I did it a while ago. I brought the volume down a little bit because it sounded a little bit overdriven.
Okay.
That would be an interesting thing that you could have. Different chants from all around the world, and combine them into one sort of a musical thing. It would really be good.
Yeah, and then.
Well, me personally, I initiate in this mantra. I recognize the use of all the others, but all the others are completely freaking useless to me, because this is what I do. Now, I don't know what, I'm not willing to deviate real far from what I know works. And I know other things are used by other people with other intentions and don't turn out well. So that's where I just have a little bit of, you know what I mean?
Okay,
I love the idea of it, and the intention is great, but it would have to be, selected.
Okay, well, for what the purpose of what you're suggesting, I think maybe if we can get everybody to just record themselves just doing the Om Namah Shivaya, that'd be cool, and we can just do a pretty cool tune with that. I'll get Gaddafi on board with that as well.
Hey, what's the thing? Did Reese was trying to do what that ages ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Oma Magna, was it?
Yeah.
Oma Magna, something.
Open my magnet.
Open a beer.
Yeah, there is. Crack them open.
Crack 'em open, man.
Should we have a little tune, maybe?
Oh, that would
Sure.
be lovely.
Okay, right. Well, now, what would you? I've uploaded a couple. We have The Breeders, Cannonball, or we have James Addiction, Being Caught Stealing. We have.
Oh,
How about you just pick one?
Cannonball, yeah, Cannonball's good.
Yeah, okay.
Hi, we're back! We're not back yet, we're not back.
And that's abruptly ends, that Chuck. So
Yeah.
I forgot that did that.
The Breeders were brilliant. They were the girls from the girl bass player from the Pixies, Kim Deal.
Yeah.
And I once bought her some pot.
Yay!
Claim to fame. Or got her some pot, rather.
And you heard it first.
Yeah.
News Bong.
Yeah.
Weed every day.
That's a rubbish gong. You're talking about more like a gong, though, Tommy.
Whoop, sorry, just got back.
Whoop.
Nice echo effect.
Have you just had a BM?
Or no,
Didn't feel it necessary to disclose that.
Proper on the that one.
Please forgive me, Swami. My crudeness.
No problem. Happy to. Oh, and Steve, you cracked my big Swami ass up yesterday when Reset was like, I'm playing these other mantras. I don't know what Swami's going to think. And Steve pipes in, he's going to kill you. Oh, that cracked me up. You guys did such a great job with that. Thank you so much.
We tried.
I think y'all did mighty fine. And then, see, you brought up the whole, putting mantra in there. And now it's changed in another way into another project. And, this is how this stuff works.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be hanging out watching.
I wanted to do the last sort of couple of minutes. We should have just done a mass chant. I thought that would have been quite nice, but it wasn't to be.
Do that anytime you want.
We did now.
See, I mean, okay, at some point, we will be frequentially powerful enough to just gather together certain humans who are functioning at this level, gather together in areas and influence very subtle, deep things for the better. And kind of like, I've kind of visualized it like it would be a meditation flash mob kind of thing.
Well, yeah, Reef was
but
doing
we'll
that,
be able
but it was
to
with
do that.
mobile phones, but we're going to do this telepathically, aren't we, Swami?
There's any number of ways it can manifest.
I think
no
you did
limit.
that
And we've got creative humans hanging around too. So who knows, you know? Creativity is not restricted. It is very welcome. So
we could call it an mob.
An on-bong mob.
An on-bong mob. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Is there any way to send a text message to just everyone to tell them to meditate right now?
We could call it sonic sovereignty.
Yeah. Yep, we could. Call it whatever you like. So, I did have another Bong story, but kind of,
there was an interesting thing on Red Eye that happening in Israel at the moment. They're having the Miss
Holocaust idea.
What?
That was just,
Miss Holocaust survivor.
I tell you what, yeah, Miss Holocaust survivor. The youngest, the winner was a 74-year-old woman who escaped the ovens twice alone. So,
Oh, see, now I thought, you know, it would be whatever woman showed up chubby.
whichever one showed up. I mean, that's,
Well,
yeah, survivor, so it's like, oh, that's weird. Don't you think that's weird?
Yeah, I think some of the Israelis think that's weird.
No, that's definitely wrong, because that's like, you know, that's just saying, oh, well done.
Yeah, well done for surviving.
I mean, wait a minute. They didn't have like a full-on swimsuit contest.
Oh.
Well, what do you want,
I'm
Will?
a very
that would be a
visual
worthy winner,
person,
wouldn't it?
and that was just offensive. Thank
Well,
Yeah,
I
a
think
little
so, yeah.
cheesy.
The myth I survived the Alice Cooper concert.
Mate would win.
Yeah. Did Mate go?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, cool. Maybe she'd like to phone up and tell us
Able
about
to
it.
hear about Raiders' Iron Maiden Alice Cooper experience tonight.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get him on the phone.
Is he,
I don't know, he is around, yeah, look.
should we just start it?
Yeah.
Mater's been in the chat room for a while.
Yeah, Mate has been well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, hit that.
and then
Add. You know how to do it, mate. Come on.
I don't use these things.
Is that because it's not touchscreen? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a mouse. Do you remember that, Grandad?
Should we call Maker instead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sonic's so touchy these days.
I'm touchy-feely.
Let's see if either of the X's pick up. We want a news Bong. We want. This is the culture report from Alice Cooper and
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. Oh.
Oh, hey there.
Hello there, mate. Mrs. X.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Frater's actually not here right now. I see you're trying to call him, but he's not home.
It's not okay.
I'll hang up. Hold up.
So do you want to start your report on what Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden were like?
They were actually pretty great, you know. It was. I was really surprised. I mean, I guess I wasn't really surprised.
Can you turn your radio off, Meta? Please.
I haven't. Yeah. Well. Wait a sec.
Hello there, mate. Mrs. X.
I've got the radio on. Frater's actually not here right now.
No, you.
Oh, sec. Oh, okay. Hold on.
You know, if we could figure out how to make that happen, we could figure out how to stop it.
Well, you must know, being an old radio pro, you don't have your radio on in the background when you're on a call.
Yeah, I'm not
Old school radio doesn't do this.
No.
Yeah, there's something like
Better?
5 seconds
That-
away.
That's much better, Meta, yes.
Okay, good. Sorry, I didn't even realize it.
It's okay. Don't
All
worry
right,
about
all right,
it.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
still
that's
listening to the radio thing.
Problem solved.
Excellent, yeah.
So, Alice Cooper, is he still got it?
He was, actually. I was definitely impressed. I mean, we actually spent his performance mostly out in the parking lot, enjoying some beers with some friends. But we could hear him loud and clear, and it was pretty darn good.
All right.
And then when Iron Maiden came on, obviously we were already in our seats, but they were awesome.
I seen Frater was complaining they weren't doing enough older material.
Well, see, I'm not as versed in Iron Maiden's musical library as he is, so I thought it was great. I wasn't much of an Iron Maiden fan, not for any reason, but just never really listened to them when I was at that age, I guess.
Well, you're more of a techno gal, were you not?
You know, honestly, I was kind of more of a, at that point when, well, I guess people have been listening to Iron Maiden all the time, but I don't consider myself any particular one kind of music gal, really, because I basically grew up listening to almost everything, and I've listened to music that a lot of people have never even heard of, and like I'm very much into like world music. I love techno, I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I love Metallica. Old Metallica. After they cut their hair, I kind of stopped listening to them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I must admit, I'm pretty similar. I listen to absolutely everything.
I like to say that I listen to everything except for feedback.
Echo.
Echo. Is it gone now? No, it's still there.
Maybe Jay. Sometimes Jay does this too.
Hello, Echo?
No, that's an echo gone.
Yeah. So,
Is
yeah,
it
Jay,
gone?
just send the message to Jay. Mute your mic if you're not speaking, dude.
So, yeah, I like to say to people that I listen to everything except for new rap and new country.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, yeah.
With the exception of intelligent political rap. I really enjoy that, but I really can't stand what passes for hip-hop and rap these days.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we haven't uploaded the to Sonny Green.
What's that?
No.
I was just...
Five chicks listen to it. She's not really a rap person either.
Yeah.
There was a guy at the festival the other week, and he's like this 17-year-old kid who is doing like quite in-depth...
Is he as good as Unstoppability?
Yeah, pretty much.
Unstoppability is pretty damn good.
Maybe the lyrics are there. I mean, the tunes, maybe they're all right. But I think for actually what he's saying, it's maybe a bit too tame though, because it's quite.
Well, the music's too tame for what he's saying.
Yeah. I think it's quite laid back actually. The tunes.
Well, yeah.
But he's like quite hard hitting lyrics. You know, yeah. But it's just amazing that it's coming out of a 17-year-old, which, you know, it gives some hope to the planet that the kids are fucking turning on.
Hallelujah.
Yay!
Unlike them old metalers, Maiden, and who just want everything to die. Were you quite close to the stage mater to see this show? Was it still all your puppetry and pyrotechnics and all that?
Yeah, well, we were pretty close. I mean, not really close. I mean, we were in the second section from the stage, not second row, but second, like, group of seats.
Did they have all the big animatronics going and all that?
They did, but, you know, a lot of people were standing up, and I'm kind of short. Frater said they did have quite a few Eddies come out, though.
They do put on, like, if you're, you know, if that's your thing, they do put on a brilliant show, eh?
So is Alice Cooper still? Well, I suppose if you're really talking about
Flavors in the pie, yeah.
because didn't he used to like do chop people's heads
Yeah, he
off
does all that, still guillotines, and he's got a big spider that comes and eats his head off and all that, and
and then you see him interviewed, and he's such a lovely dude, isn't he?
he's a golfer.
Yeah.
He's the son of a preacher man as well, isn't he? His dad was like a...
That I did not know.
I'm pretty sure if you Google that, you'll find it's true. Yeah, his dad was like a deep south or a...
Alice Cooper, whose real name is Vincent Fernier. His father, yes, was a Christian
There you go.
minister.
But it's the same as
Was the son of a preacher man.
there's a DJ on Radio 1 who shouldn't be on Radio 1 because he's far too old, called
Tim
Westwood.
Westwood. And his dad's the Bishop of bloody Durham or something.
Yeah. And he's like calling out to all my crew.
He's good friends with Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg and all these people.
Yeah.
Oh, well, is he now?
Yeah, it's very amusing.
He knows the handshake, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, yeah. He
Yeah.
probably got
He
off
wears,
his dad.
Yeah.
he wears his Masonic, what's that thing you put on when you're doing the grill? They wear aprons.
Aprons.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting, something that the Queen-loving David Ash was talking about the Masons, that the apron is because
It's a slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse, yes. That's really quite interesting. I'm gonna next time I see some of my Mason friends.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's true. I mean, I can't bear it. Well, because stonemasons also wear aprons. They wear leather aprons to stop the thingies chipping. But I could be wrong.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. He
After all the handshakes.
he wasn't particularly up on the Masons, though, was he? He wasn't particularly
David Ash.
Yeah, he wasn't really in favour. But then probably he doesn't really know any. Well, maybe he does, but doesn't know what to do. I think he's maybe thinking of the Masons, all the Masons being Illuminati,
Baddies,
which quite a lot of them are just there for the boys' club, and then
to drink bad coffee and get a few contracts.
yeah, and then these your freighters who were there to get some knowledge going on.
I tell you what, I've been Blue Green's around. He lent me a book called Genesis. It's
What about Phil Collins?
Nope. It's very far. It's
And Peter Gabriel.
Ren Le Chateau.
Oh yeah.
And I've just been reading through this. Wow, it's great.
Yeah, the Ren.
The whole. I mean, they're saying how could they have done that without having some kind of flying device? You know, because apparently the whole. Do you know all the circle, all the.
It's in a pentagram.
It's in a pentagram, and it's in two biscuit Pisces, and it's just like it's the Ark of the Covenant. It's every single sort of hermetic story is told within some kind of way of this. It's just like mental.
Yeah.
And all the angles add up to 9 everywhere.
Is
8,
that
9,
a Henry Lincoln book then?
No, it's part. He's is that the Dead Sea Scrolls guy?
No, he I don't know whether he did that as well, but he's like.
It's not Henry Lincoln. I'll go and get the book in a minute if you like, but it's not.
Henry Lincoln writes heavily about Ren Le Chateau. We shall have to visit the place again.
I would like to, yeah. It's not very far from here.
Right.
Well, it's far enough, but
it's quite a drive. It is like a 2-day drive.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
How far are y'all from Bedfordshire?
An hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, from the other side of M35.
Yeah, we're not far.
We're like.
Well, nothing is really far when you compare it to the United States. So.
Exactly, yeah.
It's about 70 miles.
Yeah, it take an hour and a half to get there from here.
Yeah, 70, 80 miles, I'd say.
It'll take you all day.
I'm going to expose the address I used to live at, just for the hell of it. Because my house had a name, not a number.
Okay.
My address was Fox Covert, Colston Road, Colston, Bedfordshire.
Okay, right, we're just going to have a look at that on Google Earth.
Colston Road, eh? Bedfordshire. I can't remember the last time I was in Bedfordshire. That's Luton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Luton's Bedfordshire, yeah.
I was assigned to RAF Alconbury.
So is that Fox Covert, all one word, or Fox Covert?
No, 2 words.
2 words, yeah.
The covert of a fox is its den, its home.
Yeah.
And then
I learned that there too. I'd never heard the word covert before,
Colston.
and now it's part of my address. You know.
Colston Road. So what rank were you in the army, Swami? Just a driver?
Oh, I was at the time that occurred. I was an E3.
And that is?
Oh, airman first class.
Oh, really? Can you fly?
Oh no. No, you gotta have like college education and degrees to get into anything to do with getting behind the controls of a jet, and I did not.
what was the town it was in there?
Colston.
Colston Road, Colston.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
The closest town of some population was Huntingdon.
Huntington, wow, research centre over there.
Well,
That's the big.
That's
I was going to say that's near Milton Keynes, isn't it? But that's Buckinghamshire, isn't it?
Well, it's on the cusp of Cambridgeshire and Bedfordshire.
Right. Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Buckinghamshire. Oh.
That sounds right, because we used to go to Cambridge every now and again, so. Of course, I had no appreciation for much of anything when I was actually there. I was young and stupid, so I just did all the obvious stuff. Get drunk.
It's a shame I wasn't around because we were the same age, Swami.
Yeah. I will be 49 this year.
Oh, we're not. I'm younger than you.
Well, I was 39 this week.
He's a baby.
I'll be 38 Friday.
Whoa! No way.
Congratulations.
Have we got your address, Matrix, yet?
What?
Have you sent Matrix your
It's
address?
right next to a house that has or at that time did have the like thatch roof, the grass type roof and everything.
Yeah, thatch roof, that's right, yeah.
And it was out the back garden, backyard we call it here in the U.S. But there was a field of Brussels sprouts. That was particularly ugly to live near, but you know.
Not pistachios?
Not pistachios. No, you don't
No,
get them.
no pistachios. Crap load of Brussels sprouts, though. Hedgehogs crawling across the yard sometimes.
Yeah, man, yeah.
I'd never seen a hedgehog out in the wild before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's something you get in a pet shop right here, around here.
No,
You
you
have
can't.
hedgehogs in pet shops. Why would you have a hedgehog for a pet?
I know, it doesn't do anything, it just rolls in a ball and...
Because people will pay $50 for it, plus all the setup.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That's what at Reset you've seen hedgehogs in pet shops, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, should we start exporting them? Should we start catching them?
Yeah.
There we go. That's how we'll make this whole dream happen. We'll build it
Hey,
on
do
the
you guys
back.
have squirrels in Europe?
Yeah, man, loads of them.
Oh, damn. All right, never mind.
I live just an hour away from a town that has the largest population of albino white squirrels on the planet. All we don't know. They are. It's illegal to kill them or bother them, and the town treats them like furry gods.
Is it a hate crime?
You don't want to be in their jail to find out. But yeah, if you like
great
run over
squirrels, eh?
We can kill them if we want, can't we?
Yeah, the vermin. I remember seeing a very strange purple squirrel on a YouTube video. Yeah, don't know whether someone had dyed it or not, but it was definitely purple. It was really quite
Do you ever
strange.
see
I know
Musket's film?
some people had speculated that it had fallen into a porta potty.
Was it a red squirrel then?
No, it was a purple squirrel, like a really.
It was like a grey squirrel,
Red
but
squirrel
purple.
falling into a porta potty, which is, you know, they have that blue liquid.
Right.
Red squirrel. Blue
May have
liquid.
been. I don't know.
Sorry.
I also saw. I don't know. Sometime around the same time, I saw also a picture of purple corn, and someone had said, "Well, maybe the thing was eating purple corn or something."
Yeah. Well, there was that guy who was blue, wasn't there? He'd ingested so much colloidal silver that it turned him blue.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, it went blue, that's right.
Well, you also got to wonder what his source was. I mean, was he making it himself, or did he get it somewhere? And yeah, how much was he ingesting? You know?
Yeah, too much.
Too much for that.
He didn't look like a Smurf. He had a big beard as well.
Did he have a Liberty Cap hat?
No. But he wasn't properly blue.
I know, yeah, I remember the picture, yeah. I remember thinking they've just done that. But no, it was properly right. Did you see the follow-up to the zombie story, the reset, that the guy had no bath salts in his bloodstream? Just marijuana?
What?
Oh, really?
Just clarify
Yeah.
this. What the fuck is bath salts? Is it like...
Epsom salts you put in your bath?
No. Bath salts.
No. It's a
They're selling now, along with the fake marijuana stuff, and it is used as like a legal LSD or cocaine or meth.
really?
I mean, it's like that. Not benign, friendly use. This is hardcore stuff that has the potential to do some very hardcore things to people due to its chemical effect on one's psychology after they take it.
I'm not certain.
It's not like LSD, cocaine, and meth are all that safe in and of themselves. To make some chemical that gives you some sort of freaking experience that's something like that, and you just don't have to go to the ER.
Yeah.
Why does it call
Well,
it
that's
bath
not
salts?
fun.
Why is it called bath salts?
Just a brand name. It's a
I
nickname?
think perhaps that was like a street
Yeah.
kind of...
Yeah, just like a
But
handle.
at this point,
handle
I'm not
label.
even certain it's the kind of thing that would be detected in a urine test. You know?
Right.
I mean, I'm totally for freedom.
That's in my
This
Me
stuff,
too.
My granddad's death room.
this
Oh,
stuff
wow,
is just
crush that up, snort it, you turn it into a zombie.
Crazy.
Regardless,
I've been into head shops over here, and they do sell like sort of. I bought some legal marijuana once, and it basically blows your head off for like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's scary. You know, it's not a pleasant,
Yeah,
and it's really like, oh my god, then it just disappears.
I know they're selling stuff over here in tobacco shops marketed as incense, but you smoke it and it's, I don't know, some kind of ground up herb, I guess, with some kind of chemical they spray on it.
they always put on there not for human consumption or something.
Yeah, but you know.
But it's just a legal thing.
Yeah.
Why don't they just legalize marijuana and be done with it? I just don't understand that.
After they made a pill, that Marinol pill, they keep saying that it has no medicinal effects, then why make a pill?
Yeah, really. How'd they figure it out?
You know, I mean, I guess you can't, patent a plant, so they had to do it in a laboratory. But still, I mean, they kind of, went back on their own word there.
They've done it over here, something like Sativa X or something like that, and it's just like hemp oil in a pill.
Sativa X, is that in relation to Mater X?
No,
Now the legal highs, I would steer well clear of them because they're not very good for you.
No.
I don't think.
There's
You're
a
better off
person I
getting
know-
heroin
I
or
know-
something better.
I've known for years who's been using this legal pot for like 2 years due to her job situation, And I guarantee you, her personality has changed.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not the person she was a couple of years ago before she started doing this stuff. She's much more depressed, much more bothered. I mean, it's very sad to see, but she actually perceives this as a plus that this is legal for her to use.
Kind of makes you wonder what they're doing to that to make, if it's legal and if it's, if she's getting it from a lab, then they very well might be modifying.
Oh, right. It's one of the concerns I've heard is, people saying, save your seeds, because, they're going to, if they do legalize it, they're probably going to have some crazy GMO shit they come out with,
Well, that's what skunk is.
That's what a skunk is anyway, but skunk's on the good scientist side at the minute, or it has been anyway.
David Nutt was in the news this week. Did you hear that? Did you see that, Tom? Professor David Nutt over here. He was the head of the drug agency about classification of drugs over here, and he resigned, or did he get sacked? One of the two, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he got
because he was saying that what's wrong with pot? No one's died from it, and he also said that ecstasy was on par with riding a horse in the danger states. You're more like...
But they had dangerous riding a horse, though.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, he was like, you're equally...
What about riding a horse on drugs? Push the boat out.
Welcome, Blue Green.
Welcome, Blue
Good
Green.
evening. Hello. Hi, guys.
Did you send that message ages ago, or is that...
I did. I've been sitting over in the dark, looking at my couch going, oh...
You should have rang me on my phone. If I checked that.
It's far too multimedia for me.
Get an iPad.
Yeah, well, get an iPad. Yeah. Get a job and get an iPad. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, I have a job and I don't have an iPad.
Why don't you have an iPad?
Just kidding.
I'm going to get an eye patch.
That's a very idea right there.
It did scare me when we went to the shop to buy it. Because me and Howard, we bought this device as our birthday presents to each other.
You big plane.
And it's like quite a lot of money just to hand over for one little thing.
Little tiny yuppie tea tray with a telly in it.
But, maybe I'll enjoy doing a little line from that.
How much was it?
It was £400.
£400, okay.
Yeah. Or 399.
390, right.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's for what it does. It's cheaper than because Howard needed a new computer, and it's cheaper than in buying like a laptop Mac. Because they're like $1,000.
Well, yeah, it's cheaper.
Yeah, and it's also better than just buying a PC laptop because they tend to be a bit shit.
Do they? Do they?
Sorry, I'm a bit of a...
You just don't have the same power.
Yeah. I'd break something like that, I'm sure. It's like I'm the only guy at my work who doesn't get emails on his phone to tell you what to do, sort of thing. I need a piece of paper. It needs to be printed in big print.
Yeah. So, Steve!
Oh, hey, I stole something from you guys while I was over there.
Okay.
I took a rock
sorry.
from Sherwood Forest and I brought it home.
You did what? That's the Queen's property, Swami. You get that back here right now.
Tell you what, when you all fly over there, I'll bring it with.
What did you take again? A piece of grass?
No, a rock from
A rock?
Sherwood.
Oh, fucking hell. Got loads of those.
Well, yeah, that's why I thought it would be okay, and I thought it might impress the birds. So,
How about Mesa?
unsuccessful with pulling birds while in that country.
I've got some rocks for you, Mater. We really need to get it's from the Bonnie Bonks of Loch Lomond.
Yeah, you told me that. Like,
I'm still looking at them right in front of me, sort of thing. So we will promise we'll get them together and we'll send them. But we need your address. We need your new address. So have you got it, Nick? No. No. Right.
Yeah.
One day we'll do that.
Don't give it to us.
No, not now.
On air, like Swami just did. But yeah.
That was fun.
Wow, people are actually going to go to Google and look that up.
Yeah, we definitely can't find it. We think you're lying.
Yeah. What was the town called again?
Can you hear this, Mater X?
yes, I am. I'm actually muted right now because I'm dealing with a small unfurry animal at the moment.
Okay. Well, these are your rocks. Listen.
Child.
Do I need what?
Is the small unfurry animal, is that a child?
Oh yeah, that's just what I call my children.
What, they're not furry?
Only in certain. But no, I call them animals because they're little wild little beasts. But I love them. I tell people I don't have pets because I have children.
Yeah. Yeah, Fletcher, can I say that also?
Well, there's a woman at work, and she says that exact opposite. She's got dogs and cats, so she doesn't have kids.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of people like that. Caroline? You there?
Yeah, they have TV shows about people like that.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, I had a friend once who had a dog, and it got some sort of growth in its back legs, and they had to be amputated. So she got like a cart with wheels on it so that the dog could walk along. And then she ended up marrying the dog.
You what?
What?
Yeah, she married the dog.
Yeah, she had us going along there, and it was all warm and fuzzy, and then it turned freakish.
I remember watching something where this guy married his donkey.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, what?
His name Juan Valdez.
It's, I don't know, it's...
Marry within your species, please. Come on, people. Come on, get it together. That is a news bomb.
Blue Green, you see that book Genesis you lent me?
It's Genesis.
Genesis, yeah, I know.
Yeah. By David Wood.
They're talking about inter-species breeding in there, aren't they?
Yes, I think so.
They do, they are, yeah, it's quite...
It kind of touches on a lot of subjects. I think one of the things that's interesting about it is the forwards written by that Rosicrucian, and so just the kind, just the sort of, if you read that book just off the shelf, you might think, what the hell is this? But the fact that certain other people are taking it seriously. Hello?
Yeah,
you're going in and out again, mate.
All right, I don't know what that is.
Perfect.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back, yeah.
I think it's all the rain.
Well, they touch on a lot of things in that book, don't they? And I think one of the really interesting things is the kind of, it's not very pleasant, but the circumcision being a kind of ceremonial kind of emasculation.
Oh, that was made illegal in Germany just recently. Another news story.
Really? Oh.
Really, they don't mind selling nuclear-capable submarines to.
Oh no, that's what.
And experimenting on twins is okay, but when was that, Swami?
This past week.
Really?
Some court in Germany ruled that it's an assault on any child that cannot make the decision for itself to have this done.
Good for them.
Well, I think that's good, yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's trauma. It's birth trauma. It's nasty, nasty business.
I gotta say, one thing that kind of freaked me out when I heard about there was this program that was on the BBC a couple of years ago. I think it was called Jewish Law.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things at the beginning of the episode was they, do this circumcision, and the rabbi was there and did the cut, and then he, for like just a second, went and he put his mouth on the child's penis, and the blood went into his mouth, and then he wiped it on a towel, and then he just went on with the rest of it. And they're like, wait a minute, did that really happen?
Well, that's what
And then I went
I've read
back, and it's this thing called was just trying to find the name of it. Mazatza or Mazatzu or something like that. But it's like in the ancient Hebrew, if you're doing the circumcision in the the ancient way, I guess it's full on regular for the rabbi to put his mouth in the child's penis and take some of the blood from the tip.
And that was on the BBC. And they filmed that.
Yes.
Okay, now, boys and girls, who can say that our Creator, the source of all that is, told this group of men, oh yeah, and by the way, my bad, you got to nip that bit off.
Yeah, I kind of left something there on there.
What?
Yeah, I think it's a general consensus in the lounge tonight that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Hold on, we've got a call coming in. Jimmy Savile's on the line. He's taking the opposing view there. I sent a picture earlier on of there's an auction happening of Jimmy Savile's memorabilia, but I wouldn't sniff the end of anything that you have. I really would.
Oh, dear. Nolan.
Nolan, 24 years ago, you say.
He was very good friends with the Royals, wasn't he?
Oh, but it was.
Yeah.
Let's not go there this week. I think let's leave the Queen alone for a minute, or shall we? What's this? The Queen's Jubilee Massive Psychological Operation.
Oh yes. This is about the Maury poll, Ipsos Maury, who like basically faked data and then broadcast it on various news agencies.
Make shit up.
Yeah.
That's the strap line.
They came up with this poll about how many people were going to have, how many applications were going to for street parties for the Jubilee were going to happen, and they like faked the amount or something like that.
I didn't see any.
There were none here.
No, that's because you were in France.
Okay, fair enough. And there only is one street in France where we go through, and there definitely wasn't one there.
And they were also fudging the percentage of people. I think they'd done some other people had done a report beforehand, before the Jubilee.
Saying we're all skint, we don't care.
The disparity could also be into question the validity of the Ipsos Maury poll and be a cause of to suspect that it was merely a tail of the end huge act of propagandizing to shape public opinion about the treacherous monarch. Reasons to be sceptical also stem from the fact that Ipsos Maury carried out a poll in 2011 which claimed that 56% of Britons would watch the wedding of William Saxe-Coburg-Gotha and Kate Middleton on television. At the same time, snap polls for this is online presence of many local newspapers were showing that in the same places up to 74% of respondents had no interest in the event. So you got 56% Ipsos saying 56% say, oh, we're going to watch it, and then 74% saying, who are they?
There was a good thing on the news this week actually. Can you hit the bong button? Have we got the bong button?
Okay.
This week.
Yeah. Now, did you hear this news report that the ethnic minorities who've moved into Britain over the last sort of 30, 40 years
Want their money back?
feel more British than the British?
Well, I'm sure, there's that whole thing. I mean, like, Africa's a huge country, right? But there are some, you can stereotype some like some African people are right into the Queen and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some really conservative Nigerians, is I guess what I'm saying. Whereas when you meet Ghanaians, they're like, nah, you know what I mean?
That's because they all have to do citizenship test, though, isn't it? And they have to learn.
Is that what that news report was about then?
Maybe.
Probably, yeah, because it was a serious thing.
Because they all have to swear allegiance to the Queen, don't
I
they?
suppose they did say it was from a survey. They did say it was like from, out of all the ethnic minorities we surveyed, they said they felt more British than the British.
Just mad.
Well,
I reckon I'd feel that.
It's been here longer, isn't it? We know what it's like. I mean, obviously it's a fairly safe. There's nothing really gonna kill us except for the government. Outside, we've not really got much poisonous plants or anything. It's pretty, the weather's it's not very extreme. It's just the same rain
All the time, yeah.
And that makes them more British than us.
No, but coming from a country that may have
Snakes and shit.
snakes and shit, and also more outwardly dodgy governments, that are willing to just kill them and
Dictators with guns as
yeah.
opposed to posh puppets that we've got.
Yeah. So they're obviously gonna say,
Fucking yeah,
this is
British, yay!
the police are not gonna kill me today. Yeah. And, I mean, to my mind, I think, well, let them in, because we've
We've had enough. Let somebody else have a go.
not us personally, but the Empire and the British East India
Oh, completely,
Company
yeah.
have just trashed the planet.
Fucking right.
Yeah, that's what.
Let them into the island, yeah,
For shizzle.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Stop it or I'm not taking you anywhere.
Oh,
I wanted to have a bit of a serious news, Bong. My friend in Japan has told me that, like, tomorrow, which is
Not the long
in world news,
Go
that
ahead, Blue Green. Sorry to...
the Japanese government are switching on a nuclear reactor tomorrow in a city called Fukui, which is not Fukushima, obviously, but and it's against the wishes of the Japanese people. Japanese people aren't really known for speaking out about many things, quite law-abiding. And yesterday there were between 150,000 and 180,000 people on the streets of Tokyo.
Right.
And you can find, I can post a link, but you can find footage of a news helicopter flying over, and for comparison, he zooms in on a baseball match where there are 50,000 people, and then he zooms out and zooms into the crowd, and you can see that the crowd is effing massive,
Uh-huh.
The government said it was 17,000 people were there, but it seems more like there was 180,000, But it's just absolutely...
you can't swear, mate. The green, you can't say fuck.
Well, I know, but I want to kind of try and tone it down because it just loses its fucking effect.
Oh, us Scots aren't the fucking same, are we, boy?
It's a bit like trying fucking wolf. It kind of loses its fucking effect.
Yeah.
No, but it's... Sorry, Swami?
Oh, I just wanted to get in before I forget, because I tend to do that. The report from this week, I'm just putting the link in about the whistleblower from the inside of the security for the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about 200,000 casket liners have been ordered. They're talking about evacuating London, all sorts of gnarly stuff.
Nothing's going to stop them doing a little, because the Olympics are taking place for energy reasons, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there's nothing that's going
to...
Places aren't going to get evacuated. What you've got to look after, this is Fichick's point actually, so I shouldn't take all the credit for it, is what you've got to look at for in the Olympics is not on the Olympics time, it's fucking after. It's the years that, go after the thing with all these, like you made the point before, Sean, a couple of weeks ago about the tanks on the street in the States, they're just getting you used to seeing these things.
So the things on the roof.
And the roofs, the missiles on the roof, they're there now, and they've been seen, and people know they're there, so therefore they're just part of the scenery now.
It's what they leave over.
It's a drip. It's the tiptoe of totalitarianism.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that the guy in question, I don't know anything about him personally, but usually when you listen to Alex Jones, if he he's interviewing somebody that, like a guest that you're interested in hearing, it kind of gets annoying because he interrupts them too much. Whereas the guy in question, this guy, I can't remember his name, English guy.
Hazel.
Yeah, that's the one. I was kind of thinking, come on, Alec, interrupt him, because he was just talking complete bollocks, in my opinion. I don't doubt that some of the things he said were true, but when he said he was an investigative journalist and then he said he worked for the Cook Report, I think Steve will know that those are not good credentials.
Not really.
That was
a very, very bad credential.
That was what was, in effect, like one long hit piece. They just used to take pot shots at anything, like, they started off with the miners and the miner strike. They just used to play, it was essentially, what do you call that, when you, like a sting operation, what do you call it, like the crime in America? They sort of set people up. Entrapment.
Entrapment, yeah.
It was basically, show after show of entrapment. They would sort of force people to sort of say something and then go, right, see, aha, you know what I mean? And they were right-wing scumbags.
Mm.
I wanted to see how this, I see how it manifested here, but how is the same information playing there?
Yeah, it's true that security guards don't get paid well, and the people that take those jobs usually don't. They kind of have to take them, and they're not really conscientious. I think that all that's true.
Well, the people that are going to be doing the security at the Olympics aren't going to be getting fucking paid at all. Do you remember?
There's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are just doing it because if they don't, they get their benefits cut off.
Yeah.
So all that is genuinely true.
Yeah, it's labor.
The people who, it's much the same all over, Swami. That like a government puts out a contract out to tender, and whoever undercuts everyone else and pays their immigrant workers less or whatever, they get the contract. And that's what's happening,
Don't you think that that's a really dubious thing that they're talking about, like they've got these guns on the top of buildings, and the people that
missiles,
missiles on the top of buildings on people's flats, and then the people that are going to be doing the security are just your average Joe that's just been picked randomly to stop his not getting paid, and he has to do it because he wants to get his dole. Are these people gonna have their hearts in that job, really? You know what I mean?
No, but if you start from first principles that there are no terrorists and there is no threat. Then it all looks a bit more easy to understand. It's all theatre.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And maybe behind the scenes, at a kind of I don't know, Joseph Farrell type international Nazi type threat. Maybe at that level somebody's threatened somebody, and maybe that's why the missiles are there. Who knows? Because certainly any other, look at the strength of what you're at, like underwear bombers who don't, who've got like nappies full of C4, but they haven't brought the igniting fucking, you get like a truck bomb full of fucking fertilizer and sugar, and two guys with donkey jackets. There's no Al Qaeda apart from the ones that are working for Blackwater.
Well said, man.
Yeah, they're busy killing people in Syria right now. Al Qaeda is.
I wouldn't want to be there.
They got Libya done, so they moved on to Syria now.
Poor people.
I know.
And then it's just creeping closer to around.
Yes, mate.
But it's not Blackwater anymore. Didn't they change their name to Z?
X
and then
or
change
Z
it
or
again?
something, yeah, that's right.
And change it again.
Not to be confused with the currency calculator on the internet, which is also called XE. Do you think that was a press thing? Like the the Saxe Cobras changing the name to Windsor. It's like a PR stunt, isn't it? So Blackwater changed the name to.
Oh, it's a rebranding, yeah.
Yeah.
Still kill shit. Don't worry about that. We're just called this now.
Yeah. We got all new t-shirts. Yay!
That was that lot. We're better than that. We're different. We've changed.
Just a new name. Matter of fact, we can still cash if you write the check to Blackwater. Security like you had never seen.
Oh dear.
Although it could be hit by friendly fire if someone writes a sticker check.
Do you think people who work for these organisations get themselves a little block talk radio and talk about, yeah, I fucking killed this much people?
Maybe we should have a look.
Yeah, we should phone them up and ask them. I was actually
we should start doing.
well, I was working in the University of Sussex this week, and I was working in the what I thought was the biology department, but it turns out it was the pharmaceutical research department.
Ooh.
And I asked the guy, I said, well, so you work, are you a teacher, are you like a lecturer or something like that? He's going, no, I'm a researcher. And I was like, so what, you're working for the school, for educating people? He's going, well, no, I don't really do that. I just, like, I get data sent to me from drug companies and I sort it out. And I said, well, who pays your wages then? The university? And he went,
no, the farmers funds you.
well, it sort of comes like, yeah, he was kind of stumped by, a builder asking him these questions sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you get paid cash in tentacle?
Yeah. I asked him about it, so did you still get like loads of cash for doing trials? And he's going, well, not really. And I was kind of, asking, and he was kind of alluding to the students who fucking sort of do some of that now. That kind of,
What, the trials?
The trials, yeah. But eventually they go, yeah. And I said to him, I said, well, you know the cure for everything's hemp anyway, don't you? And he just went, oh, hemp, really? And you can just tell he had this fucking look
Alarms
on his face,
going
like,
off.
why is this guy even talking to me? And I started asking him if Microsoft, because there was a bit of hoo-ha about Sussex University a while back getting money from Microsoft to build a new building. Do you remember that?
All right, yeah.
And he didn't know anything about it, sort of thing, and he was very evasive to all my questions, sort of thing. But there is some good news. I took some orgonite and I chucked it into the false roof.
Oh, well done. That's excellent. That's really what should be getting done. I love the idea.
Yeah. No, I've been doing my job as a
gifter.
a sole citizen of Gaia Sophia. It was a tower buster. It wasn't a holy hand grenade. I should maybe take that. Oh, I'm not going back there actually. But I did actually. I was in this other department, which was when you walk through it. Have you ever played that video game Resident Evil?
Mm-hmm.
And when you walk down those corridors and all the lights shining and all the dust and the zombies appear from nowhere, it was like that. I swear, it was horrible. Yeah. And because obviously there's building work going on and some of the lights were out and all that, and there was different labs with the bio hazard signs on it,
really?
and all that, and you just like, it'll get me out. And you've got to know the code to get out and all that. So I was holding on to the guy who was leading me through. I was going, don't want to lose you, mate. And it turns out, like, the atmosphere in there was horrible. And a couple of days later, the guy who was showing me round the first day I was there, saying they did actually used to do like psychological experiments on people in those buildings, and they get stopped. They get stopped doing it in the 70s, apparently. It did. It felt hot. It was really, how hot it's been recently, and it was really cold in there, and it was really like, oof, this is not a place for a human being to be treading foot on. Yeah. So yeah, an interesting week at work at the university for sure.
Anyway, a very good place to do some gifting would be around the maternity ward at work.
Oh yeah.
That's got a tetramast on the top.
God, I know.
They've got a tetramast on the top.
They've got loads
Oh, what?
on the roof. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Funnily enough, there isn't any. I did ask one of the other sort of caretakers there if they didn't have any phone masts around, because I did check them out to see, and there wasn't. Because you know what Sussex is like. It's a big campus, isn't it? But
that's probably because they've all put them on the big stage.
Yeah, because they're all over the gaff. Yeah.
The American Express.
The Amex Stadium,
Stadium for the football.
It's a big vagina, basically, isn't it?
That fat boy penetrated recently.
Have you seen the sewage works as well at Rottendean?
Um,
This is local news, by the way.
Bong.
Yes.
That's another
Saltine.
big. That's another big vagina. Have you not noticed that?
Uh,
It's not salty. It's before it's rotten. It's just by the marina.
Oh no, yes, that
It's
one.
got a big.
Yes.
Oh, it's a big eyeball actually. More
The
than.
one that was just.
Yeah,
done.
they just finished. Yeah.
There was another one.
There's loads of them, but they're all along the coast. And the one where they do the incinerating the rubbish, have you seen that one? The Giacomo Boas thing on the Jules Verne thing? Oh, it's fucked up, man. And have you seen Peacehaven where the whole side of the hill was taken away?
Yes. What's that going on there?
I don't know, it's been covered over, so it's now out of sight.
Because
Like a James Bond set, I'm not kidding.
Peacehaven, for everyone out there, lies on the zero meridian. It's
Yes, mate! Blue-green.
What's that, sorry?
The lies on the zero meridian.
Peacehaven. There's a big obelisk down on the seafront.
Yeah, but you know that's not the real meridian.
Is it not?
No, it goes through Paris, doesn't it? Blue-green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's complex, isn't it? The rose line or whatever.
They had a big meeting in the 50s.
It was only changed in 1978, or in France anyway. They only stopped recognising it in 1978.
Yeah, but I think in the 20s they did a
recalculation of the.
Yeah, because originally they wanted it to go because it's the Rose Line, isn't it? Yeah, that goes through.
Goes through Rennes and all.
Saint Sulpice church in Paris. They wanted it to go through Giza.
That's right. Yeah.
And then.
Which meant it would have gone that way instead of straight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was waving my arms around there.
Radio. Yeah. Well, we went to the Rose Line when we were in Paris a few years ago. On the that's when we went to CERN. Yeah.
666.
And we went to Rennes le Chateau on the same holiday, which was quite.
Wow. What a fun
Hey,
fact.
one of you bloke folks has to gift some organite to the groom of the stool just to see what happens when he carries that to work.
Groom of the stool. It's a strange concept, isn't it? And Swami suggested we should retrain the groom of the stool, and I was trying to think what kind of skill, what transferable skills that person would have. It's not a lot.
Other humans have that doesn't need the help. How else could that be useful?
Here's the marijuana gone. I know.
The lizard house maybe in the zoo or something?
What? The lizard house?
Yeah, can maybe help out cleaning out the lizards in the lizard house.
Oh, there
Kind
you
of
go.
the same job, really, isn't it?
What, Buckingham Palace?
The smaller
London's got a big zoo with a reptile house, right? You feel right at home.
Don't they eat their own poo anyway, the lizards?
Are we talking about some Doors song or something?
You could do.
Reset, you know who the groom of the stool is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know him personally, but
No, none of us do personally. It's not like he's got a Facebook page.
well, you never know.
You never know.
Okay, y'all look for that.
I found a very funny video this week. I don't know whether or not you're all familiar with George Formby, the ukulele player from the.
I very much doubt the Americans
Well,
know who he is.
I watched a video of a remake of one of his songs, and it was called "When I'm Doing Acid." It's very funny.
There's another, on a totally unrelated news topic, there's a TV chef in this country who's quite loathsome. He's called Anthony Warren Thompson.
Oh, God.
And a short while ago, he was seen stealing from a supermarket, and instead of lifting them, what he did was he set them up and filmed them doing it every day for like 3 weeks or something. But somebody's done an amazing version of, like, it's somebody doing his voice but singing in the style of Fagin.
You know,
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
YouTube video, you've got to pick a packet or two. It's absolutely brilliant, man. It's really, really good. YouTube at its best.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Swami,
Yes.
could I ask another set? Sorry to bring the tone down. It's
Ask me anything you like, anytime you want.
So, a girl who I was involved with, she's Japanese, and when I was in Japan, she's a really hardcore Buddhist, and they chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Do you know about that? Have you heard that phrase before?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it struck me that I was wondering, you know, the mantra that you've got is, would you say that it's 5 syllables or?
Yes.
5 words? Yeah. And so I was wondering if, like, so they have a chant, and obviously Buddha was originally, I guess, a Hindu, yeah?
Yes, Buddha was a yogi.
Yeah, and so, and
He
then
became enlightened. He didn't do anything new. It's just a system grew up around him, which shouldn't have, like Christianity. Shouldn't have, you know. These were
I thought these two things
were
were related, you know. Shoot, like the beads that I have, beads the same as, well, you know, they're not the same, but that's the same number.
mala bead. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
The
probably
sort of rosary
be
beads,
set up
aren't
in a necklace of 108 beads plus what's called a guru bead or a main bead, whatever. But using that with our mantra is same. Yeah. In our system, for the mala, we generally use, as Shavite practitioners, we use Rudraksha seeds that come from Nepal and Tibet. But it's not so much about what the seed is. It's not so much about that. It's about what happens while you're doing it, because those who japa or mantra repetition while working the mala beads will be less distracted by thought than those who do not, because they're doing something with both the mind and the body at the same time, focused on the same process. So there's there's just less annoyance.
Keeps your robot occupied, kind of thing.
It's exactly the same thing the Catholics are doing with the rosary beads. Same function. Okay, it's just different.
Can I ask? Have you any idea what the origin of the number 108 is? Where that's coming from?
That goes way deep. You got to go back into the Vedas for that.
Because people know that number comes
sacred number. Absolutely. And there are people who know far more about numerology and such than I do. I do recognize that, 108 is a sacred number for numerous indigenous cultures that had wisdom. And you can go way back and study, the relevance of the number 108.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of things that play into that. I'm not an expert. I don't know a lot about it. I utilize
Gnostic friends. I have some Gnostic friends, and they've got the number 108 as well.
Well, yeah.
They say it's something. Their version of it, which sounds a little Hindu-ish to me. They say something like it's something to do with the wheel of reincarnation or something. They say that you go up one side, 108, you sort of evolve 100 lives, and then you start to involute. If you don't get out of it, you start to go down 108 times. And I wonder, that sounds to me like that sounds quite Hindu-ish.
Well, sure.
Yeah. No,
because that's the truth. It's throughout many, many, many cultures. They just talk about it with different words. I mean, reincarnation was part of the Bible until the Council of Nicaea removed that, because that doesn't play well into trying to control a population into giving you control over their lives and give you their cash. So they can't know that oh, well, no matter how bad you screw up this time around, you're going to get another shot. And you'll do better the next time. They can't know that, or else they won't give the Pope all their money and, you know, give to the priests all that valuable intel on their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Bong! We were looking at clouds. Sorry, we were just looking at clouds. There's some weird old clouds outside. Hello?
But we're all, when it comes to the mystic path, which all the word mystic really means is someone who has an inner individual experience of the divine. And these come in all shapes and sizes. Every one of the organized religions that have a central figure, that central figure is a mystic who experienced something that brought their awareness outside of individuated and externalized mind and the physical and psychic senses. They became aware of more than that, and then they tried to pass that awareness along to others and teach them, how does this work? So, you know, like Yeshua, Jesus, he spoke in one way to the masses, you know, through the stories he told that had relevance to moral points, the parables. You know, these things were ideas you could get a hold of that were big, and you could begin to use these things in your life. But he couldn't give them the same knowledge he was giving to the disciples who were with him every day, doing the practices he taught them, doing the meditations, doing whatever else it was that he gave them to do. They got much higher teachings, and that sort of thing is talked about in, like, the Gnostic texts, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, and that sort of thing. All that stuff had to be taken out of the Bible. Remember the King James Bible. It's right there, King James. How many kings of England have been all about helping out the people?
Let me think. Let me have a think. Yeah.
So what was King James's intent in creating this Bible? To control his people.
And didn't like either John Dee or Francis Bacon write that anyway?
What is going on?
Somebody got the bass guitar out of him?
No, that's Steve.
Oh.
You looking for his bong?
Keyboard plugged into the computer.
Right.
But
that was a little weird.
That wasn't his name.
But yes, Swami. So I was brought in when I was, I was born into a Roman Catholic, and when I was small, I used to pray like fuck, I used to, and it was the rosary bead thing, and the, just in your rosary, it's like, nines and all that sort of thing. But I think the repetition, I totally understand what that would be about, you know what I mean? Because I think
that was totally going to be my question for Swami last night.
Nines, that relates to the 108 though, doesn't it?
Well, it's not so much about the numbers. I'm just saying that I totally get the repetition thing, the intiam thing, the focus, the repetition, and I think it used to bring me a lot of peace. Well, I don't know if peace is the right word, but it used to give me something. You know what I mean? Yeah, and most of them, and this is just like, I just think it's really odd, right? Most of the people that I know, I'm going to have to be careful what I say, but I know an awful lot of people who are, for example, recovering alcoholics, etc. And they're not Catholics. And they all go through this thing, they go, but that's a lot of rubbish and all that. And then they go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and Alcoholics Anonymous try to get them to commit to some higher power,
because they're all ex-Catholics, they won't do this.
Mm-hmm.
But they've most certainly got a God-shaped hole in their life, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And now that they don't drink, they're like fucking losing their mind, you know. And I just feel like saying, if you're not going to do religion, or you're not going to, you know, seriously look at your life, you know what I mean? Then maybe you should go back on the drink. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because I think it's definitely, you know, it's definitely that shaped hole that they had been filling with drink and drugs, you know.
Well, the point of the church in the first place is to control your spirituality, so you don't have an individual sort of. So therefore, you turn to drink to make yourself think that you're backing yourself again.
Yeah.
When your soul's basically been stolen, hasn't it?
At birth.
At birth, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally concur with what you said there, because when doing the mantra that Swami gives us, sort of thing, is the same as prayer when I was a kid, because I prayed a lot, like you did, something, because it was like,
that's what you had
what
to do.
I had to do. I had to go to class every morning and pray, and in the days off you didn't go to school, you went to fucking church, which was what? Yeah. But you're then at peace, because I used to pray that church would end. They were my prayers, you know, they were like, can I just go fucking home now and play with my mates? They were all, probably something. And do you remember, were you talking to me last night when we were talking about the sort of, the weird stuff that's happening in the minute and you get irritated really quickly?
Well, I was hearing you guys, it's not true for me, but I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't had that per se, but I've had a weird experience lately with an old sort of, me and Firechick have both had weird experiences with people we knew years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which another one has just happened tonight, and this old girlfriend of mine's mum died, and I just can't stop thinking about it. And it's really, it was doing my head in for a while, sort of thing. Just because I never really keep in contact with anyone, sort of thing, you know, from my past, sort of thing. And it was I found myself doing the mantra to stop thinking about it, and I just thought, well, that's what I used to do years ago. I used to pray.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, well,
for today's Western mind, the mantra functions as both a sword and a shield.
Yep.
In its sword aspect, you can raise yourself from a lower vibratory state of thought. With the shield aspect, you can tuck behind it, keep repeating, and know that none of that is bashing up against it is having any effect.
Yep.
You have taken the power that you used to allow the mind to wield through its thought processes. You are not that. That works for you when you want it to work, and through the practices, we come into the more proper relationship with both our physical and psychic senses, as well as the mind functioning, because it functions to serve your experience, not to dictate it. It's just been in the driver's seat for way too long, being misdirected by society and those who assist us or have the duty of targeting society in the direction to go and function. We are chucking that in the fire, watching it burn, and finding the truth about it.
I was using the mantra this week on my way home. There was some sort of crash on the A27 there, and I had to go right around the houses. It took about another hour to get home, and there was so much traffic that I was just shouting Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah fucking Shivaya.
Very good. Very good. Because it's not about the volume level, it's the vibration you are choosing to create.
Yeah.
That is the overwhelming power involved with it. Yes, there are words in both English and Sanskrit that are associated with it. But if you really break it down to the simplest level in English, Om, first of all, Om is the first vibration, the first movement from the source that begins creation. So everything arises from that and returns to that. The Christians call it the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is their reference to the vibrational frequency, the movement that issued forth from the stillness, giving life to the appearance of separation.
And that goes in the sound as well, doesn't it? Because it's like an opening and then a closing, and then an opening and closing.
And and you're saying Om Namah Shivaya, yes, Namah Shivaya is an ancient recognition of the Hindu god Shiva. But this recognition is not so much of the destroyer god Shiva from the Hindu trio. It's more like, and exactly correct if you think about it as saying, Om, I, the limited and not knowing, honor the infinite and all-knowing from which I came. That's it. You're doing the exact same thing. So if you can live with, I am a limited in knowing and experience being, and something is infinite and knows all of it, I can honor that. That's all you're doing as far as the English language is concerned. You're not engaging in some ancient prayer to some comic book character god. You're not doing that. I don't want you doing that. I want you, from whatever perception you hold of yourself, to be simply honoring that which holds all the knowledge, infinite, eternal, never changing, because you are that too. You just had to forget that for a while. Now, through the practices, you can remember. You'll simply recognize that which has always already been the case. You just couldn't see it that way yet. And then after you've seen it that way, you get glimpses of it during the meditation practice, and then it starts following you out of meditation practice into your regular life. You're just doing mundane stuff, and all of a sudden this knowing comes, and you're okay. I'm fine. I'm watching all this stuff. It can look scary. I can have bad thoughts. It's okay. I'm waking up, though, and something else is occurring. I can't always put my finger on it, but something's going on. You know? And there's many times where you'll have experiences you really can't talk about because there's not strong enough words. I mean, you can come to the experiences that just make words seem like the most useless, noisy utterances. They can't even come close to what you have just experienced.
Yeah.
You know?
I've just got a book. This
inner
week.
knowledge grows.
I've got.
Quick, Sonic, go for it, Bong.
Thank you for listening to Type 1 Radio Lounge tonight. It's been a lovely discussion with Swami Blue Green, Sonic, and Steve Gaddafi, and Lisa.
And Matrix.
And Matrix. Stay tuned for the podcast.
And we'll see you next week, live listeners. I just got a book this week for my birthday there. which sort of goes into this. It's Neil Craper's The Unfolding, which it seems to be going to be delving into just becoming the observer, just watching through synchronicities, just experiencing rather than attaching yourself. Yeah, and that's, I think that's really what maybe what's they're saying. Just be experience this, what's going on, but don't attach yourself to it. Don't grasp.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the grasping that that keeps us. We're grasping for the ground, aren't we? Almost. Take care, folks.
Bye.
We love you all.
Bong. Come on with the bong, with the bong, with the bong.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for using Bong Talk Radio. I think that's in the archives now. Yeah.
So
Whenever that was.
Yeah, we're podcasting.
Yep.
Who are we podcasting with? Oh, mate, Rex is gone.
Just
So Swami, Michael stepped up. I didn't really get a chance to talk to you. It was really nice to meet him. Very, very polite, and it's nice to see him and all that. We just had it was quite a nice day, and he got off. I saw him briefly online earlier on, so I know he's still alive. I know he made it. Well, I suspect he's made it to Belgium. Then nobody else heard from him, no?
Yeah, I Skyped, IM'd with him. He's been invited by the Guru to go to California.
Cool.
Wow.
To go be able to sit at the Guru's feet for his time of extreme dipping into the vibrational pool, and so he'll be moving in that direction,
right?
At some point in the near future.
Belgium.
He hasn't got time for us in Brighton, unfortunately.
Oh well, maybe
he's in Belgium at the moment.
He's
but
like
he'll be coming back here. Once upon a time, see, he hadn't been hooked up with all this stuff that he's doing now. Back when he made plans to go to Europe and go to India and all that stuff, he was on a quest. He just hadn't been introduced to the master. And sometimes after you get introduced to the master, your plans have to change, but it all works out fine.
Shall we have a little tune, maybe?
Do you want to shoot?
Yeah.
Did you guys get my message about? I loaded a tune in there. I was thinking of playing.
Okay, go for it.
Go for it.
Okay, this is a local guy from Minnesota called Atmosphere. We were kind of talking a little bit about rap earlier, and not there being much good rap. I don't know. The rap scene in Minnesota, rap, I don't know. It's actually pretty decent.
Hang on.
Hang on.
That was Minnesota rap.
With me and Steve?
Yes, that was Atmosphere. The Things That Hate Us was the name of that one.
Over the Just want to play this for
Flawless Science believes you deserve the right to have a long and healthy life. You deserve to have toxin-free air and water and foods rich in minerals and nutrients. Factory farming, genetically modified foods, and thousands of environmental contaminants are polluting our world and stripping your right to healthy life away from you. FlawlessScience.com helps you regain these rights. FlawlessScience.com makes natural products and provides the best nutraceutical products to enhance your quality of life, your state of health, and well-being. So whether you're struggling with obesity, diabetes, hypertension, memory loss, allergies, high cholesterol, neuropathy, or to spice things up in the bedroom, FlawlessScience.com is here to help you. FlawlessScience.com ships quickly worldwide in discreet packaging and will never sell your information to anyone for any reason. For all your wellness, weight control, extreme muscle building, and nutraceutical needs, Visit flawlessscience.com today.
Thank you there from word from our sponsor.
Spice things up in the bedroom, eh?
Yeah, I know, yeah, Roberto, you dog.
Do they do bath salts? Herbal style?
I'm sure they do, yeah. Put your on them.
Herbal incense, not for human consumption.
You know, exactly. Yeah, I looked all that stuff up. It's kind of methadone based. Yeah, Mal or whatever.
Methadone.
Not good.
Not methadone. Not methadone, but mephedrone or something.
Methadone, yeah, it's the fake cocaine one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a mixture of that. Like bath salts is apparently a mixture of. It's got that in it. It's got MDMA and it's got something else in it, or something very like a kind of analogue of MDMA. It's got 3 things in it, and it just sounds horrendous.
What the hell?
You know.
And what is it? What?
You can get it. You know these shops that sell things like samurai swords and dartboards and type screens. You know.
Yeah.
There's one down near the Central Station in Glasgow. It's a shop called Stuff. You can get it in places like that sell like really dried up and horrendous salvia.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a shop here in Brighton that sells it, and one in Worthing. The one in Worthing is called Bong Mart.
Bong Mart?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And it is. I'm going to have to take a photograph of that now and put it up. But they've got, those sort of old 40s pictures they do where they say, oh my God, somebody's skin up, with the old photographs.
Yeah.
They've got a sign like that outside, and it's what every woman wants is a bong. Pretty good. But yeah, they sell those, and I remember asking the fella what they were, and he's going, oh, well, they're just like mushrooms or something like that, and I never really thought, but it's actually that. Bath shit, oof, nightmare, nasty. Yeah, not good. Listen, kids, don't do that.
So what do we think that they're up to with that news report that the guy who's eaten somebody's face or something didn't have any... So are they trying to say it was... Yeah. Is that what this sort of story is leading towards?
Yeah, hang on a minute.
Well, have they said the same thing about the other guy that was apparently on, quote unquote bath salts, and kind of the same sort of thing kind of happened? I guess I haven't really heard that.
Did he swallow?
Did he swallow? What?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. You're not a cannibal unless you swallow.
You're not a zombie.
You're not a cannibal unless you have consumed human flesh.
That doesn't cross over to blood, because if you're putting the flesh in your mouth, you're going to be absorbing some of the blood, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember quite clearly the one with it was like the down and out guy, and it was just at the side of like a kind of highway or a freeway, whatever. Like the guy, the police officer that shot him, said quite clearly that he was swallowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like that. He was fucking swallowing this and that. He wasn't. I personally don't care whether he was swallowing it or not. He was biting a guy's face off, that's the active part of the story.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to ascertain is, does the story end with the authorities saying it was marijuana? Is that what this story is going to lead to?
I've not seen anything moving it in that direction.
Well, hang on. There's a news update. It's synthetic marijuana.
Yes.
Right. I really like the wobble in that now. It's good. It's deteriorating. That's excellent.
That's proper pill, isn't it?
Synthetic marijuana. Right. Okay.
But yeah, that's the stuff that I think I was telling you guys about earlier, that they're selling in tobacco shops. They're marketing it as incense, but it's like synthetic marijuana essentially.
Yeah.
Why do you need to
fucking Waco of all places as well?
Why do you need to fuck around with the nature of the hemp plant?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And that plant isn't broken, is it?
No.
It's just, I just find it really hard to comprehend banning a species on this planet.
Well, it's because no, seriously. If people were able to grow their own medicine in their backyard, there's no profit in that. They can do this in a lab, and they can charge people for it because you can't patent a plant, you know. So it's all just a money-making scheme.
It's not just the medicine aspect of it, though, is it? It's
I guess you're right.
It's the everything, you know.
I heard on some program, you know, you always hear these things, but I heard one that I hadn't heard before, and they said that prohibition came in primarily because people were making their own. They were making their own grain alcohol and stuff like that. And you could run the old, like old cars, old Fords that had a switch. You could switch
Yeah.
And so that was mainly one of the main reasons why they brought in prohibition, because they didn't want people making their own petrol, essentially, or their own fuel. Right. Does anybody know if that's
David Bloom. Have you ever heard of David Bloom?
No.
He's written this book called Alcohol as a Gas, and that's all about that. He was on Freighter Show, right?
Maybe that's where I heard that, right?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
And the Model T Ford was not only made of hemp, it ran on hemp too.
Wild, eh?
Yeah.
No.
And he's also
they don't tell you that part.
He's hempcrete. You know, that's,
The story as well that they experimented in Australia in the 70s by making petrol out of hemp, and by mistake they left a geranium in the place where they made this petrol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Filled the car up with it and put it in on a treadmill basically, and just turned it on and see how long it ran for.
Uh-huh.
And they mistakenly left the geranium in there, and it ran for something like 3 hours on a couple of litres, say. And they actually noticed this geranium had physically grown
wow.
by 2 inches.
So
So basically the car was producing,
goodness
for the everyone.
Brilliant.
Oh. So obviously we're not going to have fucking hemp. That would be too good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you'd upset the ecosystem.
Yeah, you make
Too
it
many
better.
plants would grow.
Yeah.
Too much food would grow for free.
You'd have no deforestation. You'd have no acid rain.
No, by golly, things would just be what? Sustainable.
And well, that's what they're after, isn't it? Sustainable development.
You don't need buzzword.
Yeah.
It's sustainable growth.
Yes.
Not growth, it's sustainable growth.
Isn't growth sustainable anyway?
No. It's funny when we do the news bongs and you have to listen to the news. You think, oh fuck's sake. You see these BBC fuckers just telling you how it is, and we're just
I've been sliding back into listening to Radio 4. It's making me depressed. I have to say. It's really bad. You know what I mean?
Radio 4 bust, isn't it?
Well, it used to be before I got in. Before there was any, or before I had the internet or anything like that. I used to listen to Radio 4.
Before you woke up, you mean?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, like, I've lived quite an alternative lifestyle. I ran away from home when I was 15, and I I've had a lot of experiences that. So I don't think I was ever really part of the system. But no, just before I knew how to work a computer, really. And I think I used to just sort of listen to Radio 4 because it just was like, I don't know, it had some, like some fiction and some just readings and stuff like that. But it is like fucking propaganda, and you get that thing where you think, why is there no good news? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Somewhere somebody hugged somebody one time today. You know what I mean? And I know that's not a big deal, but like, sometime at some point today, somebody helped someone, and somebody wasn't murdered. You know what I mean? And it's just fucking drags you down. And
well, they've always got the happy touchy feely stories at the end, right?
Yeah.
That close out the news.
Yeah, they call it the donkey, don't they?
Cat saved by firemen type thing.
It's like
Alex Jones was apparently going to start a section about that, and I've got to, I can't wait to see Alex Jones going, okay, who's the happy news?
Yeah, it's like that Bill Hicks story when they're saying, can we not at least have one positive LSD story for once?
Yeah.
I think on American Freedom Radio, I think that's a good thing that in the place of some adverts they've got like Bill Hicks bit or like a George Carlin bit. It's really good. It's saying something cool,
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Radio 5 Live?
No, I don't really listen.
Proper. If you want to shit yourself, listen to that for 20 minutes. Everything is just bad fucking news. There's no good.
I think I listened to it at the time when I found that that guy Gaza was on, and he was pissed, and he was trying to talk. You know, the guy, there was a siege, and there was a guy under a bridge with a gun.
Oh yeah.
Gaza turned up with some fish and chips for him and a lager and all that. Did you ever hear that one?
No.
I'll send you the link. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely mental, you know.
Gaza sorts them out with some fish and chips and a lager.
Well, yeah, no, he's trying to get through the police lines, and he's talking to a reporter, and he's steaming, right, and he's kind of going, no, they won't let me get to him, like, you know what I mean? You know? I've got a couple of tins of beer for him and all that. I'll talk him down and all that.
Oh yeah, send that link now.
Yeah, but you wanted to shoot him, didn't he? Is that Ralph Note?
That's the one, yeah.
Oh yeah. See, I thought that was a bit of a Facebook box to get, because remember there was all that furore about the Facebook groups, and Cameron immediately on the defence said, well, we should be able to monitor Facebook and arrest people who do put groups like that on.
Yeah. Well, they have arrested a few people.
Yeah.
And sent them down. But there was the more scary, because he killed his girlfriend's lover, yeah. And then he killed he shot that copper in the face. But he wasn't like a mass murderer, was he?
No.
Where
a
few months before there was that crazy nutter taxi driver who just went around just blasting people, and there was reports that he had black eyes. He had his not like black eyes, but his all
pupils were just
all
dilated,
blacked out.
No, not just his pupils.
Oh, his whole eyes.
Yeah, his whole eyes.
X-Files.
Yeah. He was X-Filed.
Yeah. Steve, I've just posted the link, but I've posted the wrong one, and there's the second one they want. It's a lot clearer. It's Moti, it's Gaza, full radio interview.
Oh.
I think that's the one.
Should we just play this on there?
Seems the right one. Go for it. Yeah. It's really nuts. It's really funny.
It's the second one. Moti is Gaza.
I think. Because the first one's a little bit quiet.
Did I just do the first one there?
We need to go back to our photographer colleague, Terry. Terry, can you hear us? No, Terry can't hear us. I need to press this button here, and I think if I do that...
Same problems all round there?
Hello. With the
Mr. Carter has taken away from the area of operate. He's obviously getting a lot of attention because he's turned up where he thinks that he can obviously help Ralph.
Right. Is there any chance we could talk to Gaza?
I said he knows that he can. He's knew him for years here.
Right.
Can I call you back 1 minute?
Right. Hello.
He's just, hang on, he wants to speak to you now.
He wants to talk to us now.
Yeah. Well, I'll get you a cigarette, here. Just He's just lighting a cigarette up on his laptop.
Okay, fine. Well, that's good. I'd imagine in Gaza and what he might be.
It gets corking like.
Apparently he knows Ralph, and he's come to offer his help. He was a doorman in Newcastle, he's telling me. And he's used for years.
Oh, right, okay.
So Gaza thinks he can actually be of assistance. What sort of assistance does he want to help? What help does he want to give?
Okay, here he is. He's coming on live.
Okay. Gaza?
Right, Paul.
Gaza? Gaza, hello. Gaza.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Hello, Paul. Real Radio.
I get tired of the volume channel.
Can you hear us okay, Paul?
There you go.
Right. Hello, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, good evening. You're live on Real Radio. I just wonder, tell us about Raoul Moat you know.
I knew him years ago. He used to be a bouncer in Newcastle. I knew him a lot of years since I was a young kid when I played for Newcastle. He was a gentleman. Someone must have wound him up or done something, right? And all of a sudden I've just listened to the radio, right? I mean on TV News.
Yeah.
Obviously he's killed someone.
about the...
The police got a hold of me, hear me out. The police got a hold of me, right? He's a lovely bloke, I know that. I think he's frightened, and kid, he's put his gun down, I know for a fact he will. He's put his gun down, but I think he's scared in case the police shoot him and kill him. The jokes have worn off, all he wants to do is surrender. And any day when he shoots someone, I think, kill someone and shoot two others, you may get what, 12 days, 12 years?
Paul, we don't know about that exactly, but just tell us, what would you say?
12 years. It could be about 6 years himself. I know he's a good lad.
Well,
he's already got him released, you know what I mean? He'll be out in 6.
Yeah, what would you say to him tonight?
Well, I think if the people go hold of him, listen, I drove from Newcastle this taxi to Ross Street, cost a lot of money. I brought a dressing gown for him, bought some chicken, some bread. I brought him a fishing rod.
A fishing rod?
And that's what fishing rods do. When fish together, I'll have a chat with him, give him a bit of just talk and talk, because I think I'm the only man, I think I can help him through this, because I've been
So, Gazza, are you going to go to the police and say, look, please, let me help you here. I know Raoul Moats. I can help you negotiate. I can help you sort the situation out.
I've just spoke to the police.
What did they say, Gazza?
When I'm telling you, it was next to his jail in 4 days, and the police went, oh, I'm going to be in a few minutes tomorrow. I went, listen, I said, I know the guy, the nice guy. I said, he said, I wanted to go through where I had everything cooled off.
Yeah.
I wanted to get through there, but the police wouldn't let us. So that was a waste of time saying, oh, I knew him, because he would be frightened because he may shoot me, you know. But I told him he will not shoot me.
Well, it's a dangerous situation, though, Gazza, isn't it?
I'm scared of it again. Hey, listen, I've just been in a car crash, hit a wall at 9 miles an hour. I survived that. I'm sure you survived a bullet.
So what you're saying is you want to go in there, you want to help negotiate.
I'm trying to know where he is, where the police know him. I've got a jacket, I've got a dressing gown, I've got some chicken, I've got some bread, I've got
a fishing rod. It's classic.
and I'm willing to sit down and
you reckon Gazza knows John Pistachio?
Yeah. All I want to show is, Morty, it's Gazza, where are you? And I guarantee he will shout his name out. I'm here. And me and him could sit and chat, have a little bit of fishing, and all of them say, yeah, Morty, listen.
And you think you could sort it out?
So if you like a sort of man-to-man chat with him, two pals on the riverbank.
Yeah, two from Newcastle and all those days. Look at, listen, why we just like, you know, put the gun away, throw it in the river, and say, look at Morty, look at it. The worst of the worst, you may get a 12-year stretch. The police are not going to kill you, because I know he's willing to give in now, because I think whatever he was on, it's worn off. I said, the police are not going to kill you. He may do 12-year stretch, obviously for killing someone, which is not very nice, but obviously he did it because he was high on drugs, probably, right?
Paul, have you been in touch with him recently?
For good behaviour, he's getting out after 6 years.
Paul, have you been in touch with him recently?
Have I been doing it? No, because I've been in hospital that car crash. I've seen him, I spoke to him about a year and a half ago when he was in Newcastle.
When you spoke to him then, how was he?
Mental.
Nothing wrong with him.
Gazza, thank you very much for being with us.
That's classic radio.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
I think Gaz is going to join Tony Blair's. Tony Blair's
Well, we'll see that
international.
kind of after left, then won't we? Friendship agenda all the way, him.
He's got a fishing rod and some chicken. Amazing, isn't it?
And a dressing gown.
Oh, definitely.
I always wear a dressing gown when I go fishing.
When I'm hostage negotiating.
Yeah. He just wants to be the dude.
Oh my god, that was brilliant. I never knew that took place, did you?
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good fun there, Blue.
Yeah. Gather, man of the people.
one of his mates had killed somebody, but that's not nice.
Yeah. What did you say?
We'll go fishing and we'll talk about it.
What kind of fishing rod?
See, we're Pistachio John.
Didn't he shoot a policeman in the face, and then didn't the policeman then kill himself about a couple of years later because he'd been blinded? You know what I mean?
What the cop? What he was up for assault, wasn't he? He was
He was a nasty fucker apparently when he was a...
Yeah,
he was a right, you know...
Yeah, the cop.
He was a right pig cop.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop. He was a bad cop.
Yeah.
But
still, that's a really good thing.
Yeah, no,
Good.
I'm not saying that, he was a cop, fuck him. That's my favourite line in Reservoir Dogs. Just a cop. Yeah, sorry mate, but what can you do? Gaza could have... Do you think he'd already done that though before Gaza tried to help though, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
He would have only got 12 years.
It's just the way that Gaza's so drunk, he's kind of like going, and I said to him as if he'd already said it to him, but he's talking about, I would say to him, do you know what I mean? And I said to him, you'll be out in 6. He's already getting him off for good behaviour, he's worked it all out, you know what I mean? He's got a couple of tins of lager, he's got some chicken, fishing rod, it's going to be sorted.
And a dressing gown.
When I start taking hostages, that's what I want. You listen to me?
Here's my demand on a fucking fishing rod. And some chicken.
Let me through the police lines, I know him.
And Gaza. Yeah, you want Gaza.
And then he's like, I've just survived a 90 mile an hour car crash, a bullet's not going to...
Oh, man.
Class.
Don't you just hate people like Gaza and George Best and fucking cunts that just had it all and they just don't care.
Pitched up against the wall. I met Jim Baxter once. I was working in a bar in town and Jim Baxter was in. He was in with a bunch of journalists. He was just stealing. Classic Jim Baxter, completely red-faced. Fucking angry Rangers guy going, hey, he's me, baby.
I know. Robert Duvall apparently turned up in Glasgow in the 70s sort of thing and hung out with Jimmy Johnson and all that lot. He's going, fuck me, man, he's a liver transplant by the time I got back to Hollywood. Yeah, Glasgow, great town.
Yeah, one of the best.
Did Gaza not live in Glasgow for a while?
I'm not a football guy, I don't really know.
No, he did. He played for Rangers for a couple of seasons. Yeah.
Wow.
He's one of the reasons why they're in the trouble they're in. Well, it is because they got players, big star players of world football to play for them, and they could not afford, the money that Glasgow generates on the global scene isn't so huge, is it? It's not a London or a Manchester or a Barcelona or a Milan or something like that, but they were paying them that kind of money, and it's caught up with them.
Has somebody rescued Rangers?
Well, somebody has rescued them, but the Rangers fans, being the lovely sort of liberal people that they are, not taking to them at all, and it's quite amusing because all the little Scottish clubs, who know Scottish football is not that rich anyway, sort of thing, are just deciding, well, we'd only get an extra tenner if they were there anyway, sort of thing, so we might as well kick them while they're down. And they're all getting, they're going to have to, if they become they're going to be called a new company, so therefore they lose their status
as Rangers.
As a Premiership football club.
Right.
But because they are such a big pool and the money that, they generate.
Well, they still become Rangers?
Well, it's their Rangers they're called.
Okay.
But the rules are they have to go to the lowest division and work their way up again, But they put it to the other clubs that if we could vote in a special circumstance for a TV deal, they could be included in it, sort of thing, and they've voted. They're all saying no.
But go to the first division and they're saying no to them, so they're just going to go right down to the bottom, because the best scenario for making money now will be the lower leagues, because they will still get supported
Right, yeah.
quite big. So the lower leagues who have never had any money in their lives will suddenly get, you know, a 4,000% increase in their turnover.
Yeah.
So
does that mean that Celtic will just win everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
And who owns them?
Well, they are owned by they're a private PLC as well, sort of thing.
And
one of them was the old Home Secretary guy, yeah.
Right, Jeff Reid is the
Who voted for the war, and he's got blood in his hands. So
blood up to his neck.
Doctor
John Reid, yeah.
Yeah,
he's the best.
He's a nightmare.
And he was the Northern Ireland Secretary for a while.
He was the Home Secretary in Northern Ireland. Yeah, he helped cover up Kelly's suicide and all that.
Oh, yeah, big
Right,
time.
He was involved in that. Yeah, he's fucking nasty.
And one of Kelly's associates died not recently.
Yeah, one of the under ones who had provided them with the research has just died. That's right. Yeah. Suicide.
As a suicide, yeah, yeah.
Along with the guy in the hold.
But then, you know, if I'm remembering this correctly, the guy, the coroner who was investigating that recent suicide and who said it was suspicious, he died as well.
Oh, did he?
I'm going to have to investigate this for next week, I think.
Yeah. That'll be
Did any of y'all hear about the Wall Street trader here in the U.S. who was found guilty of setting his house on fire for insurance money, and he snuck something into his mouth, and in 7 minutes he was dead.
Whoa.
Right.
Ooh.
7 minutes, that doesn't sound good.
That's a fucking snake bite and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, it was obviously some sort of a tablet or a pill of some sort.
Polonium.
Not sure how he got it, you know, or how he got it.
Not cancer.
But he heard himself pronounced guilty. He slipped it in his mouth, and then began the dying process. And in 7 minutes, it was over.
Ooh.
That's nasty, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds horrific. Probably just had a word of truth in it, knowing that his system couldn't cope, you know what I mean?
And Bernie Madoff's brother has now is he in court, or has he been found guilty of cooking the books in the old Madoff pyramid?
Is that Peter Madoff?
Yeah, Bernie Madoff's brother.
I think his name's Peter.
Peter, yeah. Peter.
Saying I listened to Spider-Man.
I think that's on there, actually.
What one there?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, the news is being sponsored by Henrik tonight. Thanks, brother.
Thanks once again, Henrik.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, you gave us a guest last week because you were poorly, and now you're giving us the news.
Brother pleads guilty to Swansea, that case.
Yeah. That's a dodgy family, that, isn't it? And just an ironic name, isn't it, that they're called Madoff.
Madoff, yeah. Madoff for the good.
Friends of the Getaways. The step on it. Yeah, there's a few things like that, you know, because I've got like a 15-year-old daughter, and she sort of, when she stays here at the stable town, it's one big room, you know, so she hears a lot of stuff, you know, and she can't quite believe there's things like, you know, there's the guy who's involved in the 7/7 events in London, who was called Crispin Black. He was like a fire investigator called Crispin Black. Can you believe that one? I'm sort of nuts in it.
Well, you know, Hal Gore is partners with a man whose last name is Blood.
That's right.
Blood and Gore.
Blood and Gore. They both run the carbon trading thing, don't they?
I don't know what it is they do, and I'm really not sure I want to hang out with anyone who feels that that name inspires confidence.
And that's the one that, you know, totally unconnected. That he is like a renowned, Algo's like a renowned drinker. Every time I look at him, I can see it.
Oh, you've got on the water.
He's having your voice screwed with right now.
Oh, good though. He's like one of the kind of death juice junkie guys. He's like a blood drinker apparently.
Blood drinker?
Yeah. You know, there's these kind of like, you know, these horror stories about these.
Rabbi. Bong. Go on, you don't.
Well, I don't have any sources for that, but you know, like these, you know, like what do you mean, mothers of darkness stuff, and they're supposedly they drink blood. You know, they torture the victim and sort of terrorise the shit out of them and drink the blood, and they get a hit off it.
That sounds like a good night out, doesn't it? Is alcohol? Would you not say he's a heavy drinker?
I've just heard that he's a blood drinker. He's one of the ones that drink blood. He carries his suitcase.
Well, he's a bliss, isn't he? So he's the Queen's cousin.
Is he the Queen's cousin?
Yeah.
How come he never became president then?
Because Bush had more royal blood in him.
Ah,
that's right.
There you go, right. Because I thought it was by McCain, because McCain was only twice removed.
Yeah.
That's why he had no chance.
Oh,
also
a very interesting bit I saw on Alex Jones. This guy come out with this video called "Dreams of My Real Father."
That's right.
This guy named Frank Marshall White, who was a very well-known black Marxist communist back in the 60s. And there's naked pictures of Obama's mama in this.
Naked pictures of her?
Yes.
Jesus. Not much Holocaust, is it?
So is that a naked picture of Obama's surrogate mother or actual
No.
Egyptian mother?
Stanley Ann Dunham. She was utilized at private photography sessions by this Frank Marshall Davis guy, who Obama in the book about the fake father of his from Kenya, he writes that his grandfather did take him 3 times a week to go visit with this Frank Marshall Davis guy.
Wow.
Who was a amateur photographer. And remember, back then, that was back during the, you know, Betty Page and all that. Folks got together and they hired women to come in and they took pictures and stuff. These were, you know, amateur photography clubs, and that was the porn of the day. And, you know, so these guys were very hooked up. And, you might want to look into getting a copy of that movie. It'd be very interesting. I've also heard Sean David.
What's it called?
Dreams of My Real
Dreams
Father.
of My Real Father.
Pop-up version.
Will it be on YouTube?
Oh, I don't know. I rather doubt it. It might be on one of the...
It's number 1 in the Google top 100 thingies, though. Fucking hell. 2020.
He was. You'll get like you might get if you type in Rents. You know, I think I remember him being interviewed quite extensively for about an hour on Rents.
Wow. Do you want to hear the trailer?
Okay.
Why not? I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that's his daddy. That's his smile. When they show this man, this Frank Marshall Davis, shortly before he died, smiling, and then show Obama, it's daddy and son. There's no...
Is it like?
Yeah, I can see it there. Look.
Is it like Pauline? Is it like Barbara Bush and Alistair Crowley?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly like that, but Mr. Frank Marshall Davis was a Marxist, communist organizer of things and activities, and Stanley Ann Dunham was photographed by him and others in his home for these private parties. And this guy got a hold of this information and plotted photographs.
Right, here's the trailer.
Born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats. Frank Marshall Davis, writer.
Wow.
So what'd you boys think of that?
Oh, fucking hell.
It's amazing, you know, like the levels of intrigue, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing that man is alive to me.
Mm. But if you think about it, this whole birther thing in its own way is an elaborate hoax. Do you know what I mean?
Very well. Makes sense from the intel standpoint.
Yeah, if this is what they're actually been covering up, and then they're trying to sort of like the whole born in Kenya thing being a red herring.
Why do you think? I mean, you've seen the video of Michelle Obama saying, "Oh, when Barack and I went to his home country of Kenya, we got AIDS tested to show that it's a good thing to do this." But I mean, she said, "quote his home country of Kenya." In a public speech. Why would she say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't she also say that he was Muslim? Yeah.
And these things don't. I wouldn't imagine these things happen by accident.
No, with that the whole Muslim comment, he was on NBC Nightly News or something and talking to I forget who, but he was talking about his and my Muslim faith, and then the reporter was like, "Don't you mean your Christian faith, Mr. President?" So, yeah, that's right, my Christian faith.
He said Christian faith first, and then he said Muslim, changed it to Muslim. That was on, I saw that on Freeman TV.
Well, I saw him on an interview once, this was before he became president, where he reached in his pocket and he pulled out, he had 3 talisman-type objects. And I was shocked that one of them was a statue of the Hindu monkey god Hanuman. And I can't recall what the other 2 things were. I was just like,
did he have
what?
some milk in it?
Do you think he was covering all his bases?
I'm sure you can find it. I mean, it wasn't like super secret or anything. I saw it on my television. So, but yeah, he just, you know.
What does the what's
like,
the kind of character of Hanuman?
That's in his hand represents Christianity.
But what does he stand for, if you know what I mean? What's Hanuman known for? Or is he like a trickster, or what is it?
Hanuman was basically a demigod, something higher than what humans are, but served to help Rama, who the ancient Indian text, the Ramayana, is about. Rama was of holy, or not holy, kingly, royal birth.
Yeah.
And his thing was to become enlightened and liberated while being of service in the leadership of humans. Okay? So this is a pretty, interesting path this guy has to go through. He doesn't get to run off and be a yogi in the mountains somewhere. He's got responsibilities, and So anyway, Hanuman helps Rama, and Rama has his wife, the queen, is Sita, and Hanuman. One time when the demon king has Rama being held hostage, Hanuman brings Rama's ring to Sita and drops it to her. And she knows, oh, Hanuman's helping. Okay, great. He's all right, Excuse me, I get a little not tears there. But it's not in any way a negative thing. So that's why I was so curious. Why would this man have a Hanuman talisman? I'm not aware of anything to misuse about it. So I don't know. I mean, that's just, I found that to be a very mysterious thing. I never saw anything about it anymore after that. But it was a regular, news program of some sort. And he just whipped these things out of his pocket. And I was like, what?
What? I think it's called covering your bases, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I got one of everything. Oh,
something for everyone, yeah. Buddhism, Marxism, yeah. Islam, Christianity, everything.
But I thought when you guys saw the picture of Frank Marshall Davis with his white hair and a grin,
yeah.
Garage,
and also those clips of them doing the speeches, and Obama's just basically copying what he's saying, but just a little bit of a slant.
Different take on it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy over here called Brian Gerrish who's saying this is what Obama's doing. He's just he's sneaking Marxism into the bigger scheme of things. And also over here, David Miliband. Is it David Miliband?
Ed Miliband?
Ed Miliband is the new Labour leader.
Yeah, but maybe David's like
oh, he's taking the back. Yeah.
Just whispering in his ear.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, the two of them are the most dangerous kind of politicians.
Because they're
over here for years.
Fabians, aren't they?
Fabians and Marx's. Their dad is buried next to Karl Marx in fucking Highgate Cemetery.
Did you hear that just after the Queen came out with something, Blair has now stated that he'd quite like to be Prime Minister again?
He did say something to that effect a while back. Yeah, he said he wanted to, because they bombed him out of the Europe job, didn't they?
Right. Okay. So he's just working for J.P. Morgan now, is he?
Yeah.
And bringing peace to the Middle East.
Bringing peace to the Middle East and being a good Catholic boy.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. How hot.
I was having an interesting conversation with a friend up north. He's like studied philosophy and all that. And I was like talking to him about John Lash and not in his image and sort of the concept of him. And he was like, yeah, that's sort of a bit like Marxism, isn't it? I was like, yeah. I was like, well, Marx was like a proper puppet of the Illuminati. He was like proper Rothschild. He's like, I've never heard that before. Are you sure? I was like, yeah, I reckon so.
Well, he was fucking...
No, you're supposed to think he was a Russian dude.
Well, he was educated in Mexico, was he not?
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah. You never heard John Lash?
But he was completely a Western intelligence production.
Yeah, yeah.
He was basically brought from Mexico to Russia.
Yeah. I was like, just have a bit more of a read about it.
Yeah. Did you give him not his image?
No, I haven't.
You're not ready yet?
No, I'm still just wading my way through.
It's a great read. Absolutely shit hot. I'll try to get it back off. I checked to read it again. But I've definitely got to romp through this book of Genesis. It's
So
top lead man.
So is that it just all to do with Rennes le Chateau and the Landback region?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm on chapter 5. I'm on the womb, blue green.
I don't know it off by heart. It's been a while since I read it. You know.
Well, it's about the seventh part of it. The seventh chapter. I'm about a third of the way through it, and the chapters are really short, and they're all explaining. They're all leading up to explanations of all things, and it's basically the do you know how it goes on about the being the womb, the vagina to the womb?
Yeah.
And the seven, and is it the 15 parts?
15 parts of Osiris.
And is it? No, 16 is Osiris, isn't it? And
no, it's 15, and then they lose the
yeah, that's it, yeah. Because all that's mad, and the way it's going on about the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale is where that comes from as well. They're around the same part, you know, and the hacking away of the brambles as they're hacking away to get to the vagina. So it's quite bizarre.
I think it's nuts that, you know, like when you, because I read that when I was relatively young, and I've spent a lot of time, you know, in the years between that, kind of looking into it and trying to find out if it's, and it everything I've looked into is true in that book, you know, the numbers of Osiris and all that. But see, when you see that it shows you like the picture of Osiris and his head is touching the 15th thing and all that, you know, and you think that is mad that it's that literal.
I know, it's really bizarre. I mean, I'm reading through it, and I'm seeing the Diana parallels.
Right.
You know, about how Isis was this thing of pleasure of the upper world, and it's just like, yeah, that's what she was. She was just like brought in to give birth, and then she's getting fucked off. But she was Osiris was a bit more powerful than that, though, wasn't she?
Isis, well, yeah,
Isis,
she's like kind of the queen of space and all that, isn't she? She's quite cool, Isis.
Well, she fucking poisoned.
Mary's based on, isn't it? Really? It's
Mary, like, exactly. Yeah.
It's like cloak with blue with gold stars on it and stuff.
Yeah. And it's funny the Black Madonna. That's quite amusing.
At the end, there's a black. You know, I was telling you, Le Mans Saint Michel. There's that grate.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Black Madonna there.
The Black Madonna there, right? Okay, there you go.
I sent that Freeman because he was talking about Black Madonnas.
See, in some of the churches around the Rennes area, because you know there's loads of them.
Yeah.
And some of them have got Black Madonnas in it as well, and they're trying to say, "Oh, that's they've just gone black because of the candles that have been burning around it."
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, mate. What were the eyes then?
Yeah. What a throw.
There's a good red ice. I'll send you a link to it at some point. It's a bloke that wrote a book, and he's like, I think he likes that he's a mason and all the rest of it as well. And he's talking about a place in France called Orania. Orania. And it's where it's the root of the word orange, and it's linked to the House of Orange. And Mary Magdalene's always pictured as wearing an orange cloak and having red hair. It makes quite a good case. This guy makes quite a good case. It's quite, it's one of Henrik's. It's quite a good interview.
Yeah.
Well, the House of Orange was Dutch.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's connected to that.
Okay.
He says that they're from the House of Orange are from the from the royal blood of Jesus and all that. It's all to do with Jesus coming to France and all this.
Down that part of France, there used to be like a Jewish enclave, wasn't there, called Septimia. Back in the 10th century, something like that.
Well, they did little enclaves everywhere, didn't they? In Ethiopia.
Yeah. But it was like properly separate from France. It was his own
Avignon as well was also separate, wasn't it? Because that was the original Vatican.
Right.
That was a Vatican, wasn't it?
Oh, right, okay.
Just letting you guys know, we've got probably just a little bit over 2 minutes.
Okay.
Well,
that's 3 hours gone fast, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So next week's news Bong will be.
But unless we have a guest.
We could try and see about getting. I haven't talked to him in a while, but the guys from the Maniac Agenda, we're still talking about maybe getting them on at some point.
Yeah, I'll message Lenny this week and see if he wants to come on.